Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We are live for transfer deadline day. It's happening with Manchester United at the moment. Looks like Romelu Lukaku is leaving the club. So get into the live comments and get out there with what you think's going on. And I'm just going to say, Tom, are you there? We have a guest in the studio. Tom is a journalist. Tom Wade, how are you?
Hello, mate. How are you? I'm absolutely great.
Not too bad. So if you just want to introduce yourself to everyone and let everyone know who you are and what you're about quickly.
Well, good afternoon, guys. I'm Tom Wade. I am a Manchester United correspondent, formerly now of Love Sport, but I was up until a few days ago. And basically, my job is to give you guys all I can on Manchester United. And I've been doing it for a while now, and I got to say, I absolutely love it, but not today.
Yes, it is a bit of an interesting day for Manchester United. I think we were all pretty much expecting something to happen with the club, but as of yet, we haven't seen any breaking news, apart from the fact that Romelu Lukaku looks like he is going to be leaving the club. Sander was supposed to be joining us, but he said he was off to make a sandwich, so I don't know if that's a euphemism for something, but we're not going to have, Sander on right now, so you're stuck with me and Tom. Mark will be on in a bit, guys. He's just got off the train, obviously, for the United Stand 500,000 subscriber party over in London right now, so don't worry, guys. Mark will be here soon. Again, I can see the live comments completely confused. He's asked me to step in, so I was happy to do it again after the complete disaster of the last watch-along that I did. Right, so let's have a look at the show lineup for today. So today we've got a quick overview of what's been going on with the transfer window so far, a little bit like Jim White. Then Mark Goldbridge is going to join us on the line for his live reaction to everything. He will be joining us in and out of the show today. We obviously have our guest journalist in. There will be different callers throughout the day, and you guys will also be able to phone in and give your opinions on the latest Manchester United signings and how you think this window has gone so far. Then Mark Goldbridge. Then the transfer window closes at 5 p.m. UK time, I think it is. Is that right, Tom? Is it 5 p.m?
Yep, 5 p.m. UK time. It's all said and done. And
then we will just quickly wrap up and see what we all think about the signings. And then Mark will be giving his live reaction to the end of the transfer window. Right then, helps if I turn off that. I knew I was going to put something on. I knew I was going to cock up something. So, right, guys, what's going on then, Tom? What's happening in the world of Manchester United right now? Have we got any signings happening?
I have to be honest, Rorty, it really is looking like what we all guessed it would be. I personally don't think anybody is going to come in now. I mean,
right.
What we've got nearly just over 3 hours, and Manchester United do not do deals in that amount of time unless they are, of course, working on something. But, I think the biggest thing right now is seeing that Lukaku goes, and obviously within the last hour before we go live, it's turned that Marcus Rojo is looking like he's off to Everton. Everything around Manchester United at the moment in terms of buying is quiet, but there is a rumour that Longstaff has been approached again with a £35 million bid, but the truth in that is I'm not buying that. I don't think that's true. I think it's selling day at Manchester United today.
Right, Sander has joined us in the live show now. Sander, are you there?
I am indeed, mate. How are you doing?
My God, I've not heard your voice since last night. I was about to say when we were doing the testing. So, Sander, have you heard anything? How are you, first and foremost? Welcome to the show.
Well, yeah, my personal life and my sort of football life is two separate things. My personal life, I'm well, but how the United transfer window is making me feel is something slightly different, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, so exactly how is that making you feel? Because it sounded like you were going to go into some sort of metaphor.
Well, I wish, you hold me to high standards, Drawty, but I was basically just going to go on about how sleepless nights, stress and anxiety, I think, are the three words that the United transfer is making me feel. Look, the business we've done is fantastic. I don't think any of us can argue with Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James. Daniel James, for me, questionable at times, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, mate, these are two of the top talents in world football. Genuinely, I think that defensive line at the moment is one of the best in the Premier League. I honestly believe that.
Well,
but the transfers we haven't done is something else, isn't it?
Yes, I think when you look at what Man United have done so far with Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James, Yes, two of
Can
them.
you hear me?
Oh my God! It's Mark Goldbridge. You're live on the United Stand. Please do not swear, Mark.
Oh well, okay. Well, I don't know what to say. I've never done this before.
Have we got Jim Silverbridge here? What about Jim Silverbridge? Can we get him on?
It's Jim Silverbridge here, and I'm just fed up of all the negativity floating around Manchester United at the moment. We've got a young team, we've got a young manager, and I remember in '95 people said you can't win anything with kids, and you can win something with kids. We could win the title. Leicester a couple of years ago, they won the title. People are just getting their knickers in a twist. We're Manchester United. We can do anything. We can win anything. Anything's possible. Edward would have said it himself, apart from signing players. But, we can do it. We can do it.
Well, I obviously Jim Silverbridge there with his overt positively. I don't even know what that is anymore, Mark. So how are you? How's things in London? Have you just got off the train?
I've just got off the train at Marylebone. I'm just walking down to Baker Street. So the plan this afternoon is that we will, because me and Flex and Rance have got to do some stuff this afternoon. So we will be popping in and out on Discord throughout the afternoon. I know you've got Xander, Tom and Draughty doing a fantastic job there. But I've just sat on the train with a Chelsea fan who recognised me, talking about Chelsea for an hour and a half, which was actually quite nice to speak to somebody who, they've got a transfer ban, but they've got optimism. They've got a young team and a young manager, and there's low expectation because it's been inflicted on them through no fault of their own. Whereas with Manchester United, I don't know. I just do not know. I despair. When Rojo's going for 25 million now, that net spend's getting close to profit. It's getting close to profit. It was 70 million with Lukaku going. Now Rojo gets it down below 50. The Fellaini's another 10. If Zaha and Darmian go, because we get the 25% off the Zaha fee, we're virtually going to be profit.
Thing is, Mark,
how can that be?
We sound surprised, but we shouldn't be surprised, should we? Because we've seen this time and time again. The Glazers and Ed Woodward, they're businessmen, and they try and get as much money for themselves as possible. So we shouldn't be surprised, I don't think.
I think you're right, but I think I tweeted it today. I was like, well, what do you do? Like, I think it's beyond a joke now, but what do you do? This happened last year. I was in London last year, did the same video. They've not backed Mourinho. They're tight arses. They're bringing money into their own pocket. A year later, we promised this big rebuild with a new manager. We haven't seen it. But what do we do as fans? Because we're still going to turn up. We're still going to watch the games. Are we just going to go, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Something's got to happen. I don't know whether I have the answer because people keep saying, oh, Mark, United Stand have got to do something. They don't understand. The last 5 years, the obstructions we've had as a channel from Top Reds, fanzines, other channels, the media. The United Stand can't do anything. The United Stand community could do something, but everybody's got to come together. And, we've seen it over the summer with the Glazers out thing. You've got other people going, you're a fucking joke. You're a joke doing that. Look at you with your bloody stupid protests. The Glazers are rubbing their hands together.
What would be your plan then? What would be your plan to do? Like, obviously, these protests on Twitter, protests in real life outside Old Trafford, none seem to be working. Mark, what would you plan on being the best plan of action to get the Glazers and Ed Woodward out?
Off the top of my head, if someone said Xander's the genie and I can rub his lamp, I would say that what I would want to happen is just against Chelsea, no United fan turns up and it's an empty stadium. It's really harsh to say that, but actually, it would be the biggest statement there is if fans didn't turn up to games. But it would never happen, and I'm not saying it should happen because it's a personal choice, and I respect people who don't want to do that. But I think something has to happen to ridicule the ownership and almost bring United to its knees. And that won't happen. I know it won't happen because the fan base is not like that. It's too divided. But a banner and a bloody trending on Twitter ain't going to do it.
It's not. I don't think anything's going to do it.
No.
I just don't think there's anything you can do. I said it last night. We're stuck with this. And when we was winning, when we was winning, who was moaning about it? Nobody. But I agree with you that the Glazers cannot stay in charge of Manchester United and the ownership. But is anything going to change? I don't personally see it happening.
I think what would do it is couple seasons in a row, mid-table finishes, and you mark it, your value goes down and all this sort of stuff, and Glazers no longer treat us like a super club because we won't be. That's the way we're going. If the Glazers keep treating United as they have been for the last X amount of years, we are going to end up mid-table team. We are, right? And
I just want to say, because I'm just at the underground, so I'll get back onto you when I hit Tower Hill, because I will lose you in a minute. But what I would say is, what I'm really surprised about is every year we've been in the Europa League, we've spent big. Like Mourinho's first year, he bought Pogba. Van Gaal had a year. So I was like, when everyone was saying, "Oh, you should up Goldbridge, you're full of shit. You're not going to spend 250 million." I said, we will, because if we're in the Europa League next year, the sponsorship drops. So they'll spend big. It's not the right reason to spend big. They spend big because they want the revenue of the Champions League. But they haven't spent big. No. And we're going to be back in the Europa League again. So the revenues are going to drop. So it's just really weird. I said to Drawty last night, it's almost like they're going to sell us. They don't want to spend because they don't want to lose they lose in money if they're not going to sell. So I don't know. But I will be back with you. I will jump back in about 20 minutes. I'm just going to jump on the Tower, London.
Just before you go,
I'm going to jump off the bridge.
Don't jump, Jim.
I'm not really. Nobody call the police at Tower Bridge. I'm not going to jump off the bridge. I'm meeting Flex and Rants to film. It's all right.
There seems there could be another twist in the Rojo deal, though, as well. Just coming to me now.
Yeah.
It seems that Everton are exploring the option of a loan deal, then with the implication to buy at the end of the season. But United are adamant they want to sell him.
Look at us. We're sitting here on transfer deadline day, waffling on about if Rojo's going to go on a season-long loan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a load of waffle, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we are Manchester United. We should be up there talking about getting Dybala in, getting Bruno Fernandes in, and Sean Longstaff, and smashing going into the league, going for the title. We're sitting here discussing Rojo. Do you know what I mean?
I'm suspicious about it as well, because this time last year I was at Sky Sports for transfer deadline day, and Toffee TV were there, Everton, and they were like, "We're going for Rojo in the last couple of hours." And I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" And it didn't happen. And here we are a year later, and Rojo to Everton again. And I just feel a massive sense of deja vu, and I can't believe it that we're not going to sign anybody now, are we? Surely not. I mean,
I wouldn't say so.
Anyway, I'm going to jump on the train and I'll get on in 20 minutes with you.
Right, guys, very, very quickly, we've currently got up a quote from BBC Sport about Lukaku's exit. Inter Milan have reached an agreement with Manchester United to sign striker Romelu Lukaku for a fee that could rise to €80 million, £74 million. Belgium international Lukaku, 26, has trained at his former team Anderlecht for the past 2 days. Lukaku's agent, Federico Pastorello, flew to London on Wednesday in an attempt to resolve Lukaku's future. Tom, has there been any progress in this so far? I'm guessing it's pretty close to being done.
It's very close to being done. Obviously, Lukaku is at their training facility. He's undergoing his medicals and all the relevant stuff that you have to do before you sign for the club. And it is very, very likely that will happen, and it will break while we are on air. Lukaku will be, he's gone. He will be an Inter player. They're just doing the final few things, and that will be a wrap for Lukaku, which I think had to be done, isn't it? You know, he burnt his bridges. There was no way he could come back from the show that he put on.
No, and I think over the last couple of days, with especially how he's been behaving, it's especially leaking all the data. It was an unusual move for a player to sort of leak that sort of thing, especially when you're still contracted by your club.
Absolutely. That was his business move, though, Jory, I think. That was his business move to make sure a deal went through. And it is very clever of him, but I think he's lost my respect. I've never been huge on Lukaku anyway. I think he's always been a disappointment. But, you know, that was the final straw that broke the camel's back. That was it. But I've just got an update. James Decker here. He says, Manchester United are increasingly unlikely to replace Romelu Lukaku before today's transfer deadline at 5 p.m. Wow. They've called their interest in Mario Mandzukic, which I tweeted about previous to the show. Again, price and wages. United are not bowing down, and I think that's a good thing for a player like that anyway. It said United initially explored the option of signing Mandzukic as part of the potential swap deal between Lukaku and Dybala. Discussions over a standalone deal for Mandzukic continued last weekend but the deal for Dybala obviously collapsed due to his huge wage demands. But the prospect of Mandzukic to United now seems highly unlikely. So there's another one off the list.
So we can scratch Mandzukic off the list then, everyone. So everyone in the live comments, because obviously you guys are incredibly important. How are we feeling about Mario Mandzukic? I mean, he's a player that I didn't particularly want. Sander, is he a guy that you would have wanted at Manchester United? He is 33.
Hey, you and your Mandzukic can do one. I do not want Mario Mandzukic anywhere near United. Why would we get a 33-year-old donkey in right, to replace another donkey. Give Mason Greenwood the minutes. You know what I mean? I know it's a risk, but it clearly, with Ole, right, it's going to be a long-term thing. I hope it's going to be a long-term thing. So if we can just give it Mason Greenwood, give Marcus Rashford and give Anthony Martial up top the time to develop into the strikers that they can be, I think we'll be all right. I think it's testament, though, to Lukaku's time at United that, I'm not going to lie, I am gassed he's gone. I'm so happy. I'm absolutely delighted he's gone. I think he's always been a donkey, and he's still a donkey. Yeah, he'll do all right into Milan, but that's not as close to a pub league as League One is, but it's still a bit of a pub league, right? So do one, Lukaku. Go and have your pasta and bulk up some more, you donkey.
Okay, and on that note, we're going to go straight into the live comments. So we've got DJ Cranium, Drum and Bass UK. MUFC have earned 1.2 billion over the last 2 seasons. Total outlay on players, including Lukaku's sale, lies at a paltry 111 million since the end of summer window 2017. That's 9% of the turnover. Phil, these comments keep jumping all over the place. Stephen Bell, Manchester United are back in talks to sign Mario Mandzukic from Juventus as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. We've just discussed that. I don't think he is coming. Quan Whitboy says we need more creativity in midfield, which is... Here's the thing, guys. It doesn't look like we're signing a midfielder. How are we feeling about that?
I'm very worried because, like I said to you last night, Jorty, you know, if we're going into the season depending on young players like Pereira and, you know, Fred's still young, he's still really finding his way, and if we're going in on that and we're solely depending on Pogba again, imagine if Pogba goes down, that midfield for me then turns into a mid-table midfield, and I just can't see how somebody like Pereira or Fred are just going to have that blow-up season that they're going to have. Obviously, I wish they do, and I hope they do, but I don't see it. And I think it's a big mistake that United just not go in for that centre midfield.
How much do we think that United really should have realistically spent on that midfield then, guys? Because at the moment, obviously, there's been zero investment in the midfield area this summer, which is something that, obviously, Goldbridge and everyone in the live comments is saying... It's woeful at this period in time, especially when we were so dire last season towards the back end.
I think, look, Pogba always misses 2 months of the season with a hamstring injury. It's a fact, right? He's done it every year. Not only that, he's notoriously inconsistent. Not only that, the lad doesn't want to be at the club, right? So you've got 3 negative factors in regards to Pogba. So we can't count on Pogba. So now we're relying on Scotty McSauce, right? Andy Pereira, and who else? I don't know. Anyway, we're relying on those 2, okay? And I think, although I do think McSauce is going to step up, I've just got to say that. I'm sticking my neck out on the line. Scott McTominay is going to be fantastic for us this season. I think under Mourinho, he was doing a very restricted role. He was restricted by Mourinho, and he was told to give it to Pogba and he'll play with it, essentially. But now, in pre-season and towards the latter end of last season, we saw he's got some passes in his locker, and dare I say it, he's quite Carrick-esque. The way he picks the ball up, right, from the defenders and plays that sort of midfield splitting pass into the forwards through the lines, I think he's got more in the locker than I think a lot of us realise. So Scott McSauce, I rate him, but Andy Pereira, he worries me. He does worry me.
It's the case, isn't it? For me, I think I've always said this, they need at least another 2 seasons. They need this season and next season behind them before we see any real decent progress from any of them. Because you can't judge them this year because they've got nothing to lose, have they? What have they got to go and lose? Nothing. And they've got no competition, so they're not really fighting for places either. Yeah. I think United have dropped the ball there by not signing a centre midfield. I think I said it yesterday. I agree with you on McSauce. I think, honestly, we'll be having this conversation at the end of the season, and you'll say, Tom, you were right. I think Scott McTominay will be the player of the season at the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah, I am. I'm saying it. I'm saying Scott McTominay will be United's player of the season.
That's a bold strategy. We'll see how that works out for you. If you know where that quote's from, then I'll put it in the live comments. But in all seriousness,
the
guys...
told me about Matic. Yeah, I missed out Matic in that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Nemanja Matic.
Nemanja Matic. Go on, Sander. I'm just going to quickly do the starting 11 of what we think's going to happen for next season. Get that graphic up. So if you just want to take the reins for a moment and just talk to Tom.
Nemanja Matic, Oh, Tommy. Nemanja Matic. Sorry, I probably shouldn't call you Tommy. I don't really know you. But anyway,
That's all right,
Nemanja Matic, he's another donkey, isn't he? Get in the bus with, Mario Mandzukic, Romelu Lukaku, you donkey. He's awful. He's Nemanja Static. I remember Mark saying it when he first signed for the club. He is slow, he's a pedestrian, and he's past it. And he was proven right. He is all those things. What are your opinions on him?
I absolutely agree. I tweeted, you see the AC Milan game when David De Gea rolled the ball out to him. Everybody was blaming De Gea. Oh, he gave the ball, soft ball. No, Matic, his touch is horrendous. I know, you go on about how bad Lukaku's touch is. I'd say Matic is even worse. And the fact of, when we signed him from Chelsea, I had high hopes for him. I thought, wow, we finally got that holding midfielder that we've been crying out for, that can zip a pass round and be quite solid in front of the back four. But he's not shown any of that for me. And quite frankly, right now, Nemanja Matic should not be anywhere near the match day squad at all. For me, he wouldn't even make my Sunday league team. He is awful and he's slow. And I think he's another one that just needs to be on the shelf and just see your days out somewhere in China or something. Someone come in for him. I'd let him walk for free, if I'm honest.
Well, the thing is, mate, we've been talking about, he is actually realistically one of the most experienced players in that team, and that is a worrying sign, isn't it? That really is a worrying sign. If Nemanja Matic or Nemanja Static, right, is the leader and the most experienced player in that team, something's going wrong. Something is going wrong.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think if that's
I want to get your...
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Tom, I want to get your opinion on Andreas Pereira. We touched on him a little while ago. But for me, he's a weird one because he came through the youth academy and he showed so much talent and potential and he was a hot prospect. But and through the seasons we've been able to say, he's done well in pre-season, but we haven't seen enough of him in the first team to really judge him. Now we have. What's your opinion on him?
I think Pereira's got the potential to be a very tidy player. I agree with you that we haven't seen enough of him. And I think when Jose Mourinho was in charge of the team, he wasn't playing to Pereira's advantage. Pereira, he's a free roaming centre midfielder. He can run the show. But has he shown it? No, he hasn't, because he hasn't had the chance. And I think given chances, he will come good. And I think we'll see that this year. But, I said yesterday, I've got such high hopes in these young core that we have. I think all of them could come good, and they've all got a point to prove. And I think Andy Pereira is one of them, but I'd say, out of the young guys at the moment, arguably you'd have to say the best one out of them all for me is looking like Angel Gomez. I'll say young ones. I'm excluding Mason Greenwood from that because I think he's ready to go. I think we'll see a lot of Greenwood this year, and a lot of people are saying about Lukaku not being replaced, but I think we've got a replacement in Greenwood. He's not going to score you. He's not going to score you 20, 25 goals this year. That's too much on him. But I think he has got potential to do that. But yeah, I'd say Gomez would be the one out of the lot that I'd say needs to get more time. And Pereira needs that time. But Pereira, he's had a little bit more chances than everybody else. And I'm in agreement with you. At the moment, it still remains to be seen. Has he got the potential to be that player that United need?
Look, Tom, there's two sides to me, and I want to know what the comments think as well. There's two sides to me. There's the optimist and there's the realist. Right? And the optimist in me says, you know what, Lukaku, screw a replacement, right? Greenwood and Rashford, gunman seasons. Yeah, absolutely. And then we look to the midfield, we don't need Bruno, we'll get Angel in. You know what I mean? Bruno, we don't need Bruno, we've got an Angel in, right? But realistically, the best way for young players to develop isn't first team minutes. Well, it is first team minutes, but even better is sort of being under the wing of top professionals.
Absolutely.
Who have the United youngsters in that team got to look at and go, I want to be like that? What, Nemanja Static?
Nah. You know what? You could argue it's Paul Pogba, but like you said, if he doesn't want to be here and he's not interested, and United don't get anybody to come in and help him, and he's had enough and thinks, right, I've had enough of this, I'm out. Then it becomes an issue.
Is the inspiration for young lads in the team? I'm worried.
Right, guys, I'm just switching over now to the starting 11. So obviously we're looking ahead towards Chelsea, and this is what it's looking like so far. We're just predicting here. So obviously De Gea in goal, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. I think that back four pretty much picks itself. Scott McTominay is your central defensive midfielder instead of Matic, because I think you guys both agree he's probably going to have a standout season. Paul Pogba with Andreas Pereira, Martial, Rashford and Greenwood. I can see Greenwood getting quite a lot of time this season. Is that the kind of team that you guys would be happy with? Especially you guys in the live comments. So get your comments in. Who do you think at the moment is the most important player?
I think the whole of the back five is our importance right now. I think that right now, like you said, it picks itself. That's what we're going to have to pride ourselves on this season. If in the last remaining few hours we don't get anybody else in, and I think that team that you've put out, I think that's probably as close as we could get to saying that's the team that's going to be against Chelsea. I think like I said, I think Mason Greenwood gets his chance.
Do you not think, though, that this starting 11, outside of that, there's no one else really that can come in that would improve it? As in, that starting 11, if anyone else comes in, it's always going to be, not as good, basically. Yeah. You swap out McTominay for Matic, again, you're slower in the midfield. You swap out Shaw for Ashley Young, you're not as good at defensively. Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Maguire and Lindelof have to be nailed on all season. I worry that there's not enough depth for Manchester United this season.
I think arguably you could do Angel Gomez with Pereira and Daniel James with Greenwood. I think they're the only sort of switches that you can make that wouldn't really weaken it too much. But there's a lot of people in the comments talking about where is James. Guys, I want to get your opinions, the comments too. But Drawty and Tom, what are your opinions on Daniel James at the moment?
Very quickly, there is a super chat from Infadeath99. I want Angel, Chong and Greenwood to all get games, not just waste on the bench. We don't need a 33-year-old striker, obviously referring to Mandzukic. Yeah. And again, this club has been built on youth, especially from Sir Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson. So we want to continue that. Sander, what was your question? Sorry, I had to read that.
Yeah, it's fine. Everyone in the comments and Drawty and Tom as well, I want to know your opinions on Daniel James at the moment. What you're thinking about him?
Daniel James is one of those players. He looks exciting. He was brilliant up against Manchester City, and he did look to have something that he's just got something about him. But I think at the moment he's more a squad player and an alternative than a first team regular. I kind of feel we bought him a little bit as a punt, which is sometimes just fine. Punts are a good idea, but he's going to struggle to try and get ahead of Anthony Martial on the left, especially. We don't know what's going to happen with Alexis Sanchez either. Hopefully he's not going to play this season, but I would like to see Daniel James given a good run and a good opportunity, because what would be sad for him is if he comes here, big move, and all of a sudden he's just basically a periphery bench player for the rest of the season. He's got the pace to unlock teams, but it's whether he's got the ability in the last third of the pitch.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was my one thing that I took from pre-season with Daniel James. His speed, it's frightening how quick he is. I mean, that's great. That's what we need. I essentially tout him as an next Ryan Giggs for us, because obviously it's a Welsh thing, as the Welsh link is. And I think he has got the talent to be a very, very good winger. The problem is, I agree with you, Joy. Yeah. There was often times
can I take my neck out?
Yeah.
Go on.
I disagree with you both.
Oh, there's a surprise, Sander. Imagine you disagreeing with anyone. Imagine you agreeing with anyone on anything.
Oh yeah, well, look, get the hate in the comments already. I'm preparing for it. But I just genuinely think, look, I'll back Daniel James. I will back him, as I'll back any new signing for the club. I hope I'm proved wrong, and I hope he turns out to be a raging success for Manchester United. But from what I've seen in pre-season, and from what the stats say about him last season, in regards to pre-season, I see a lot of pace, but Usain Bolt's quick. Do you know what I mean? I just don't see the end product and the quality on the ball. And you could say, but he's young, that will come with time. I don't think that comes with time. I think consistency comes with time, and I think things like strength and decision-making comes with time, not quality on the ball. I think you've always got that, right? And you look at players like Angel Gomez and Mason Greenwood, and I see that quality in them. I don't see it in Daniel James. And if I told you guys, right, he got last season for Swansea in the Championship 4 goals and 7 assists in 33 matches in the Championship. Mate, we give Marcus Rashford stick for not getting enough goals in the Premier League, let alone in the Championship. It doesn't scream fantastic news to me.
It doesn't. I agree there. But the thing is, again, it can all come with time. I think you say it can. I think it can. I think if he can find that final, that distinctive final ball, I think he could be a very good player for Manchester United. But do you know, we was talking about Paul Pogba just now. I want to touch with Daniel James as well. Who's going to take Daniel James out of all of them guys, our wide players, our strikers? Who's going to take him under their wing? Because they're all pretty much all the same. They've all got they're all the same age. They're all young. They're all still learning. They've all got points to prove. And I just want to know who's going to be the one to say, right, right, young man, come here. This is what you're going to need to do to craft your game. You look at United years ago. You had loads of bags of experience and world class. I'm not saying none of our players are world class. Well, they're not. I don't know. It's debatable. But who's going to take him under their arm and say, right, come on, this is what you need to do.
Well, here's the thing. The problem is with Daniel James is obviously we've got a very, very young front line now. It's not like we've got any experienced strikers for him to learn from anyway, or experienced wingers. So I hear what you're saying, because it's almost like, apart from Alexis Sanchez, who plays wide out on the left usually, although he's better through the middle, I mean, Sanchez has been diabolical since he joined Manchester United. So Daniel James learning from him is going to be very difficult. Just want to read out a few live comments, obviously. Henry van der Walt. AP is not the greatest of players. Would love to see him fulfilling the void left by Herrera and Fellaini. Fellaini would actually fit into the current team. Ooh, okay, fine. Ooh. Peter Adair. Oh, again, you move the comments and you jump around. Manuel Favor. Alexis Sanchez did well during the international break. Solskjaer should let Sanchez have another chance. He can perform and he knows it. Okay, guys. Alexis Sanchez, does he get into the current team?
Not for me.
No?
Not for me. I'd start Jesse Lingard, and I think Lingard out of our forwards is the weakest link for me. And I don't think he could get in with Lingard right now. But then, Sanchez, it really annoyed me because he went away to the Copa America and he played absolutely great for Chile. Yet, last game he gets injured. Does he just not want to come back and play for United or something? Or am I just being silly here? Because he went and played some really good football. I watched him. He played really well. I was impressed. I thought, wow, is this the Sanchez that we're going to get come back to United?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't know because he's injured again now.
Do you want a sad truth, lads?
Is it involving your cat again? Because if it's involving your cat, I don't think anyone in the live comments... sorry, everyone loves cats. What are we on about? Let's don't be horrible. I'm joking, Sander.
No, but I thought we'd keep that between me and you, mate. You're actually upsetting me now.
Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry, man. These things happen. So he did throw...
but about Alexis Sanchez, we're saying, does he just not want to play for Man United? No, he doesn't. He never want to play for Man United. He want to play for Man City, but he came here for the money. And we were all laughing about it, saying, we're the bigger club, Man City. We are Man City of 2008. Do you know what I mean? We are that team who has to splash the money, and players don't want to come to us. They just want to come to us for the money a lot of the time. And I think Alexis Sanchez is the epitome of that. I don't think he ever wanted to join us.
Guys, very quickly, because I have Mark Goldbridge breathing down my neck sometimes, as you know. He's always keeping an eye on everything. There are 8,800 of you watching right now, which is incredible, having a CGI devil on the screen. Guys, if any of you are new to the channel...
CGI?
I thought that was real.
Sorry, it is real. Sorry, we'll just we'll glaze over that. Don't worry about that. Okay, guys, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing. There's going to be many of you who are new to the channel. We are, as of today... apparently we're the biggest Manchester United fan channel. So
number one, baby.
I didn't know. See, I wanted Mark to say that because that was up to him. So, but he was like, you can say it if you want. So yes, we are apparently now the biggest Manchester United fan channel globally. So, and we are growing, and we want to get all of you involved as much as we can. So please like the video, please subscribe, please share. We are on Twitter, United Stand MUFC. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. So, that said, obviously it's a transfer window. That's why we're all here. We've been talking about the starting 11 for a little bit. Tom, have we got any
some news? Yes,
we do have some news. Amazing, go for it.
It's not breaking news, but there's been a report out in Italy. I'm just translating it, so you have to bear with me. But it seems that Manchester United at one point this week discussed with Juventus at the possibility of bringing Rice Matuidi to the club.
Matuidi?
Yeah.
Boring, that, innit? Matuidi. He's another static. He's past it.
See, I think he's a lot better player. I think Matuidi would play well for United. I think he'd be the difference maker there.
Okay, and where's that report coming from?
It's coming from Tutto Sport, apparently. So read into what you will. I don't really take much notice of anything that says sport at the end. Don't listen. But, we're clutching at straws here at Manchester United. So anything I get, I will give you.
I appreciate that, Tom. That's very kind of you.
Your sarcasm knows no level, Sander, as per usual. Why did I get you back on here? Why did I listen to Mark? I'm joking. So Sander, if you don't know him, guys, used to present on That's Football, Mark Goldbridge's other channel for chatting generic. And hopefully, Sander will be joining us more in the future where you can actually see his face.
We'll see how that turns out. But, you get me all giddy now, Jota. You get me excited, lad.
Oh, don't get too excited, though, Sander. We know what happens when you get excited. People get arrested.
Again, Jota, if we keep that between me and you, mate.
Oh, sorry. I just keep getting secrets everywhere. This is not going well. Right, guys. So in the live comments, we've got Aishon Diol, Fosu Mensah instead of Matic, Axel instead of Jones, Lingard instead of Mata, and James instead of Alexis. I like your thinking. I do like your thinking. Des0XR, we are not a retirement home. He says not in very loud capital letters, obviously screaming it at us. Mark Hamilton says, what a load of rubbish. I'm guessing he's talking about this show. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, basically, Mark Goldbridge is currently in London. We have the United stand 500,000.
So he says.
Wow, so he says. You might be somewhere else, but you never know.
With Alexis Sanchez.
He's someone says you sound like Joe Weller, Sander. Well done. So
well, thank you. Yeah, cheers. Brilliant.
Yeah, you don't look like Joe Weller though. That's probably a good thing. So yes, Mark is currently in London for the 500,000 subscriber party. Me and someone else might have a little surprise for him there. They don't know about it yet. I'm not even going to say what it is to you guys. But this person will be joining us on the show later when they call in. And many of you will know who it is when they appear. So get ready for that one. Also, guys, Discord. We are running a Discord today for you to all get involved and have your say. So if you want to jump in the call queue, we will start bringing people in here. There's a number in call Q1. We've got Alex442, Chris Chopper, nice name. Or was that Chris Copper? Chris Chopper sounds a bit dodgy. Yeah, Chris Chopper sounds like...
Now we all know what's going through George's head.
Yeah, sorry, Chris Chopper here, everyone. Yeah, sorry.
There's been a lot of talk about that recently on this channel.
Broughty and Choppers?
Oh, just choppers in general.
Oh, absolutely. Broughty loves a chopper.
United stand, why does he use his real name instead of Mark Goldbridge? Who? I'm guessing you're talking about Mark Goldbridge. So,
There's
long story.
Goldbridge.
Very boring story.
He's Batman. He's Batman.
Well, yeah. He wishes he was Batman. Here's the thing. So guys, yes, if you want to get into our Discord, I think... Is the link in our... No, it's not. I can put it in there, though. I will get the link and put it in for the call queue, and you guys can start ringing in, because I think it is important for you guys to actually have your say. So,
I've just got one more bit of news here.
Yeah, go for it.
We've got a report from the Mirror that says earlier this week, Manchester United rejected a loan offer from Everton for Chris Smalling, as we know. But the offer was rejected, but the English centre-back does have a price tag. And it said that... Oh, God. Chris Smalling. If I say to you, Chris Smalling, how much would you say to me to buy him?
Can I pay you?
Starbucks.
£30 million.
Did you say 30?
£30 million Manchester United are asking for Chris Smalling.
3-0.
3-0.
Are you sure it's not 13-1-3? Are you honestly saying 30? I'm just trying to let this process.
Absolutely. Mate, I honestly, when I said it, I thought 3 million.
Hold on, are they buying Mike Smalling or Chris Smalling?
It's got to be Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, they've clearly... So there you go, guys. Breaking news. Mike Smalling is signing for Everton, not Chris Smalling. We're keeping Chris. So, we're going to be in profit for the transfer window.
This is what I said to Mark earlier. We're all sort of surprised, but we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be surprised because they've done it year after year, you know?
I'm not being funny, though. Like, I'm really, really annoyed with, like, the way the whole thing's been going, but can you honestly tell me who is going to buy Chris Smalling for 30 million? I'm surprised Rojo got 25 million. Then you've got Darmian. Who's going to buy Darmian?
Is he still at our club?
Absolutely, wow. Apparently so. He's sat in the corner of the boot room still cleaning someone's boots. It must be the pink boots of Phil Jones.
Yeah, he's helping Sanchez walk his dogs.
By the way, does anyone actually know how the hell Discord works? I'm trying to invite people and it's like, it's the most impossible program in the world to use. It's so confusing. But we do actually have people in the call queue, so I'm just going to grab someone in and we're going to bring in TUS Kid. He loves it on here. So let's bring him in. TUS Kid, can you hear us? Are you there? How are you doing today, mate? Hello, you are live on the United Stand. Please do not swear.
Oh.
Yeah, so hi. So we've dragged you in. We are actually going to start bringing people in. How do you feel the transfer window has gone for Manchester United, mate?
I think it's not gone too good. Like, it's okay, but not like. I think if we got Bruno Fernandes, that would be like the cherry on top, like just to finish it. But I feel like our transfer window's gone okay, but not like as most fans would have wanted it to go.
How did you want it to go?
I wanted it to go exactly how it's gone now, but then get maybe Dybala and Bruno Fernandes, but in the swap deal with Lukaku.
That's interesting, mate. Just on Dybala, you say you fancy Dybala to come in. I would think, I don't think we should get him in ever, because I think he doesn't really want to be here. Juventus is clearly his passion and his love, and he'd be coming here for the money. What would you say about that?
You say that as well, and then that's like changed my opinion a bit as well, because I had this thing the other day where I was saying that if you got Dybala, it's like getting a Ferrari but not build a roof over your house. It's like a signing that you need to do after you've done like the priority signings first, like our centre midfield and our right winger and our centre back, which we've already done, like all priority positions.
What do you make of the new defence then?
I think that's a solid defence. I think that's easily like top 4 defence in the league, to be honest. That's a really good defence. But if we're gonna get a defence like that, but then not get a midfield like that's creating for our strikers, I feel like lots of our games this season are gonna be like goalless, because we need that productive midfield, and then all we've got is Paul Pogba. And if he gets injured or like has that back spasm like he had before, I'm not sure that we'll be able to create enough chances for our strikers to finish and get goals for us.
News from Sky Sports Newsstand now then, mate. 6 minutes ago, they said Manchester United would not be bringing in Mario Mandzukic from Juventus in this transfer window. We touched on it earlier, but what would you make of that news, pal?
Sandy, you're nicking my job. I was about to say.
I'm very happy that we're not getting him. I'm sorry, but he's so old. Like, he's terrible as well. I'm sorry. I'm actually so sorry that I'm saying this. Like, I'm being mean.
Apologise.
It's just plain card-hold facts. Like, we don't need that. I'm sorry, we don't need that.
Very true.
Let's say then that United don't sign anybody else. What do you make of this talk of Llorente?
Nah, I don't think that Llorente would be helpful in any way, because I think that we've already got our striker options and other options filled, except from our centre mid. But I'm not really sure. I don't think that would be good.
Right.
Let's throw that to the comments then. What would you guys say about Llorente potentially coming to United? Thanks for joining us today, pal. You've been a fantastic caller, and we hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Right then, guys, let's get someone else in. So the call queues are suddenly growing. The Discord description is now in below the description of this video, so if you want to get in, you can. The lines are now starting to fill up quite quickly, so if we pull you in, be prepared. We're not going to pull you off, that's a bit dodgy. So right, let's get someone else in. Let's try from Cool Q. Let's try Peter Adelier. Peter, are you there? You are live on the United Stand.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. So how are you feeling about Manchester United and their transfer dealings so far?
I feel Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he's trying to be modest. I think he should have demanded for more signings, and I think he's trying to spend less. He's not pushing it, and in order not to get the sack. So he's just trying to be, because I don't see why you can't get midfielders. It makes no sense at all. Yes, we have Maguire and everything, but I just can't believe that we're not signing midfielders. It's just incredible.
But do you not feel that United spending 130 million on 2 defenders is enough for the summer? Because some people would say 130 million is more than enough. But let's be honest, it's not. But how do you feel about it?
It's not because we are yet to replace Fellaini. We're yet to replace Herrera. Yes, we have Maguire, but we should have gotten this defender last year when Mourinho was crying about it. So this was Maguire is the defender we should have gotten last year when Mourinho needed it badly. So I'm not counting that as this summer's transfer. I'm only counting Wan-Bissaka. So they are inefficient. Woodward's inefficiency last year, he's now paying for it this year, and we're suffering for that in the midfield.
So, in terms of midfielders, if you could only have one, if you could only sign one between now and 5 o'clock tonight, which one would it be? Who would you choose as your number one priority signing for Manchester United?
I would put everything on Ndidi, but knowing Leicester, that would not happen. So I'll go for Partey. We need a defensive midfielder badly. Yeah. Magic is just terrible. McTominay is not. That's not his natural position. So I don't think.
Goldbridge in the house.
Oh,
you go there.
Oh my! Mark Goldbridge. Do you know what? I'm just going to have to say you can wait 2 seconds. We've got a guest on, so you can wait 2 seconds.
I've got breaking news. Has your guest got breaking news? I'll wait, but I've got breaking news.
All right, if you got breaking news, then go ahead, Mark.
Well, considering I've not been listening to your stream, it might not be breaking news, but we've signed Harry Maguire. No, Wanyama, Victor Wanyama.
Victor Wanyama.
Does that mean what? Does that mean anything? Victor Wanyama. Sky Sports are saying that Spurs are open to letting him go, and people on Twitter are saying he's better than nothing. Which I suppose that's where we're at now with United.
Hold on,
Wanyama is better than nothing.
Are you telling me that Manchester United are in for Wanyama?
Southampton originally, but I wouldn't take him now.
He's just available. We're putting 2-2 together and getting 40 here, but Victor Wanyama is available and United need a midfield. This is what happens on transfer deadline day.
Oh my God. Victor Wanyama.
He scored a good goal against Liverpool, and he's better than the Brazilian Tom Cleverley Fred, so I would take him, but I'd take myself in midfield now. You know, it's getting up.
What, even with your dodgy knee?
Yeah. Better than no one. Better than no one. This is the line we've got to use now.
I'd rather
have no one.
I'd rather have flex in midfield.
Better than no.
I'd argue, rather than bring in Wanyama, I'd rather give the likes of Andy Pereira and Scott McSauce the time to play, because I just think bringing another ageing player in on probably higher wages isn't worth the minutes that McTominay and Pereira have been out on.
I mean, I can see in the live comments right now, everyone is laughing their heads off, going, "What the hell, Wanyama?" Eric Camus says, "What the fuck? No." Mark is lying now. Come on, laughing emojis. Mark's pure banter. So, Mark, are you pulling our leg right now?
I literally got off the underground. I've just met up with Josh, the camera guy. We're waiting for Flex and Rants. I thought I'll go pop on the Discord live. I'll have a look on Twitter before I come on. I've not made it up. Victor Wanyama is available from Spurs. This is the seed. This is the seed of the move if it's going to happen. I'm not going to say it's going to flower. We can piss on it or we can put water on it. I don't know. But all I'm getting from Sky Sports off Twitter timeline is that Wanyama is available. Not that he's coming to United, but he's available. And I would say he's better than nothing. He's better than.
How much sangria have you drunk?
I was going to say.
I haven't actually had a drink yet. This is the thing. I haven't had a drink yet. It was only going to get better.
Okay, well, I mean, we're here until 5 o'clock anyway. So if this is how you're starting off now,
people have got to stay till 5 o'clock because I'll just turn up in that live group at different times. You know, I'm going to be a bit like Cheggers from years ago. No one will remember him, but you know, the roving reporter around Tower Bridge. That's me. I've got some special guests lined up. I'll be asking Rants why he said we were going to sign someone on transfer deadline day. We'll put him on the spot.
I'll tell you what, if you
don't worry about me.
You've got the yellow tie on though, Mark, yeah?
Oh. This is entertainment, guys.
It's going to be a fun afternoon. Subscribe and don't go anywhere because I'll be back. I have paid for the underground. Get your hands off me. Get off me. Right, I've got to go. I'll see you in a minute.
See you in a bit.
All Mark needs now is a yellow tie and a dildo in his ear.
Let's not lower the tone, Sander. Come on. Right, sorry.
You're the one going on about choppers.
Sorry, Peter. Sorry, you still there, mate? Sorry.
Yeah.
When Mark Goldbridge comes on, everyone has to stop. So you know what it's like. So how? Do you know what? very
seconds,
quickly. Sorry, Tom. Sorry.
It seems like the imminent move of Romelu Lukaku will be announced very shortly. He's passed his medical.
He's passed his medical. Okay. So we will try and get you up. Right, Sander, over to you a second. I am just going to get out the starting 11. I need you to host for 2 seconds whilst I get some graphics prepared for Romelu Lukaku.
Thank you for joining us, mate. You've been a fantastic guest. I think everyone in the comments would agree. We're going to get a new caller on for the moment. We've got to keep it going. But I really appreciate your time, pal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
I don't know how to get rid of people. Yeah, okay, there we go.
Get rid of people. Sander, your personal skills are atrocious today. So we need to work on that, mate. You need
I set up for a new guest to come on, then I realised I've got no way of adding a new guest. I don't know what to do.
No, that's why I've got the power to do it, and that's why you don't have it. So
okay, all right. Anyway, go back to your graphics, and I'll talk to people.
Right, we've got the starting 11 lineup now, so you can go on and talk about anything you want to. Tom, again, if you see anything breaking news, please let the guys in the live comments know. So I will be back in a moment. I'm just going to sort some things out.
Again, Tom and everyone in the comments as well. I'm just looking at the starting lineup, and we've discussed the starting 11 quite a bit. But I was looking at the bench, and I saw Sergio Romero, Angel Gomez, Juan Mata, but then I saw Tahith Chong. I want to know what everyone thinks of Tahith Chong. I personally think fantastic talent, but needs to go on loan. What do you reckon, Tom?
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. He has a talent. Again, I watched the under 21s or under 23s, whatever you call it now, against Rotherham the other night, and he is lightning quick, but he is that kind of level right now. I don't think he's ready for the Premier League. He needs to go out on loan, get himself some more experience, and then bring it back. And if he brings it back, all good. If he doesn't, then we've tried with him. But
here's the thing, though.
He's not. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just think he's the only weak link. I'd say he's the only weak link within that bench right there. Even with Matic on there, because Matic, as bad as he is, at least he'd come in and he's got a bit of experience. When you put Tahith Chong in there, who's he learnt from? What's he going to do? He's just going to run around like a headless chicken at the moment because he hasn't learnt his craft yet.
We're talking about potentially, Marlon Bloomfield says, agree Chong needs to go on loan. Jackie Temba says he is good but not ready. So I think Big Z says no loan. So we're getting mixed comments in the comments. But what I'd say is, we're talking about, and I did say Chong needs to go on loan, but I would argue Chong, at this current moment in time, would do better for us.
You think so?
I think so. I genuinely think Tahith Chong would do better for us at this current moment in time than Daniel James. I think the pace. Daniel James might be a bit quicker, but on the ball, this is what I maintain. On the ball, I think Tahith Chong has that edge over Daniel James.
I agree. I'd say he is a baller. We've seen that in pre-season, but I just think Daniel James is a better player right now. I know he's young, but he has got a bit of experience. He's in the Wales squad. He's working with grown men here. He's not playing in some sort of like Premier League B League week in, week out. He hasn't been doing that, and he's played grown man's football, if you ask me. I think,
but not done well in it.
I can agree with you there, but the jury for me is out on Daniel James. I think he can only be judged come the end of the season. But do you know what, Sander? There's a good comment here, and I like this because I touched on it yesterday. Diego Dalot. What do you think of Dalot?
That's so interesting. Diogo Dalot. Sorry. There's no doubt about it. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has to be our starting right back. That is unquestionable. I think at this moment in time, Dalot is a good backup to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't want to see him at left back. I don't really want to see him at right wing. So I think at the moment he's got to be the backup to Wan-Bissaka. But also, I think it's good to have those two young, sort of fierce and strong and fast right backs fighting against each other for the place at right back, for the first team place, because you need that competition. Competition spurs on everyone, but mainly these hard-working professionals. So I think it's fantastic that we've got two fast with right backs with great potential fighting against each other to get in the first team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dalot, although he was a Mourinho signing, We haven't seen enough of him. Again, it's another player we haven't seen enough of, and we need to see him. And I think with the cups this year, I think we're going to see a lot of the young guys playing the cups. I think that's where we're going to see where they're going to.
You can slate Europa League all you want, can't you? But at the end of the day, it is going to give us more of an opportunity to give first team starts to the likes of Mason Greenwood, if he isn't already, to the likes of Diogo Dalot, to keep everyone happy and to keep everyone developing. Because at the end of the day, it is, it's the second tier European tournament, but it is a major tournament. And so that experience for those young players will be invaluable.
Tom, did you say that Romelu Lukaku has completed his medical with Inter Milan?
I can find it again, but I have it on here, on my phone here, that it says Lukaku announcement imminent, medical passed. Let me find where it is. But it's, again, it's going to happen, whether that's people saying, oh yeah, it's done, trying to get the first one to be there. But, it's from what I can see and what I'm reading through everything I'm scanning through, it's looking like he has completed it.
Okay, well, good. Guys, how are we feeling about Romelu Lukaku then? So, have your say. Sander, what do you think about Lukaku leaving?
Hey, I'm going up to London tonight for this 500k get-together, right, the celebration, and I'm having a party. Yeah, it's going to be me, Mark, everyone's going to be there. We're going to be on the sangria singing bye-bye Romelu. Do you know what I mean? I'm absolutely ecstatic that he's gone. I think, yes, he's a good goal scorer, but Christ does he need a lot of chances, and Christ is his first touch dreadful. He's slow. It's clearly his attitude wasn't right with him leaking all the data and the way he's gone about this transfer saga. So bye-bye Romelu is what I say.
Guys, there are 9,200 of you watching a CGI devil on your screen. Amazing. Well done to you for sticking through. Mark Goldbridge will be here throughout the show, popping up. Apparently, he's just said, mate, I've just walked into a pub. It's pure banter. I'm going to be pissed as a fart later. Expect some quality content. Okay.
Goldbridge Uncut.
Goldbridge Uncut. That's exactly what we want. So if you are new to the channel, if you like what you're viewing, if you like what you're listening to, I'm joined with Sander Seegers and Tom Wade, then please stick a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm sure many of you are new to the channel as well. So as of today, we are the biggest Manchester United fan channel in the world, which we didn't honestly think was going to happen anytime soon. But oh, shush. But it's been great for me and Mark. So or as I call him, Brent. So he won't mind me saying that, trust me. But everyone knows now. So it's honestly, it's been a fantastic journey for the channel, and it's a shame I can't be there tonight. I would have liked to have been there, but unfortunately health and stuff has not been too good for the last year. So Flex knows that I'm not there as well. So otherwise I would have gone with you. Are you actually going tonight, Sander?
I swear I'm down there. That's why I've got to pop off at 4.
I was wondering why you said you were going, because I was like, I was going to try and go as well, but
yeah, I've got to leave here at 4 because I've got to get the. Anyway, it's nebulous. I've got to get the train up there, and I'm excited. And from what Mark's saying, he's going to be pissed as a fart. Get me on the sangria, lad, because I'm going to get smashed. Celebrating Lukaku leaving and the 500,000 subscribers.
I'll tell you what, Sander, I want selfies of you with everyone there, videos of you on the floor.
Shall I go around and just take selfies with everyone?
Literally everyone. Literally anyone and everyone, even if it's the barman. I don't care. So.
All right. Well, you'll have a deal then, yeah? I'm doing that. Selfies with everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Tom.
I see a comment from Alex Keenan saying, any update? Literally, mate, nothing right now. It's literally quiet. All that we're getting is Lukaku is basically imminent to move, and Mandzukic is 100% not happening.
Can I just say, I probably shouldn't say this, right? I might get told off, but we're trying to keep, everyone's watching this and it's fantastic, and we're trying to act like something's going to happen. Let's be honest. There's 8,000 of you in watching this stream.
9,000.
Nothing's going to happen. 9,000. There's 9,000 competent brains. Well, maybe 8,199. Draw it in there. And you all know nothing's going to happen, right? Rojo, yes, he might go, but Jesus, if that's our excitement, we've really we're in a sad place. So yeah, nothing's going to happen. Trust me, Lukaku will get sold, Rojo will get sold, but that isn't good for suspense, is it? So
no.
Stay tuned.
Just quickly on the Rojo thing, I was thinking when I seen this, would you prefer United? And I want to see what the chat says. Would you prefer United to have sold Rojo or one of the Chuckle brothers? Because in my opinion, I'd rather Rojo than one of the Chuckle brothers, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but come on, Rojo is literally a loose cannon. I mean, the amount of dodgy tackles he puts in there, and his defensive positioning sometimes is a little bit questionable. So there's a few people in the comments saying, Obersaxi, nothing is happening, people crying, why the frick won't anybody sign Lorenzo Insigne? There's a lot of people in the comments getting rather upset right now about the.
Go on. The way you said someone crying just made me laugh. Just imagine someone at home in tears at the United transfer window, just go, "We haven't signed Bruno." Like, oh. Anyway, yeah, what you mentioned about Marcus Rojo. Honestly, mate, I don't think you could put the Chuckle brothers in one sort of category. I think Chris and Philip are in two different categories. I'd actually have Chris Smalling over Marcus Rojo and Phil Jones. Between Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo, though, I don't know. You know, it's flipping a coin at that point.
Well, the thing is, I did like Rojo when he joined. I just think he's a bit reckless. And if you had to keep anyone between Rojo and Jones, I'd still choose Jones. So
Rojo's greatest moment for the club was him eating a banana on the pitch.
Oh, that was amazing. Big Z, mate, Rance is flying back from Lisbon right now. Drawty's surprise for Mark is Bruno Fernandes coming out of the 500,000 cake. Yes, I have. Do you know what? I have spoken to Bruno Fernandes' agent, and I've said, look, do you mind getting Bruno over to London tonight just to pop out of a cake for us? So that will be happening. He will just be wearing a bow tie, so that will keep Mark happy.
And a lot of people saying, does Fernandes even exist?
No, Fernandes doesn't exist. He's actually an actor called Barry from Skegness. So he doesn't exist at all.
Barry from Skegness, I like that. That's good.
He's slightly Scottish.
What are people saying in the comments here? Bailey is too reckless. That's an interesting comment. That was from Bo Gold. Lads, what are we thinking about Eric Bailey?
Oh, do you know what? Go on, Tom.
Sorry, Joy. I think he's done. I mean, I feel really sorry for him because, you know, just can't stay fit. He's always getting injured and he's like he's made of glass. But, you know, he was the one that was supposed to come in next to Lindelof and be that Harry Maguire. But unfortunately, he hasn't been. And, you know, injury after injury, I think his time at United is probably done, if I'm honest.
What's he?
I think the thing is with Baye, I really, really liked him, especially when he was when he just joined. He's got he had a lot of potential. It's just injuries have just hampered him, and I really feel for the lad because it's not great when your body doesn't want to work for you. And the problem is
every after a night out when you bring someone, you know what I'm on about.
Yeah, sure. We're not going to go there. I'm trying to keep this stream clean. It's before the watershed.
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you there's a good comment here from Jonathan Bai. He said we should get David Neres for next season. Well, I would have agreed with you, but unfortunately with that one, mate, he signed a new contract with us yesterday, so that's pretty much put any talk of him coming to United done, or him going anywhere. That's finished.
I'll say, so on Eric Bailly, just quickly,
yes.
You make a good point about that, Tom, on David Neres. I agree with you 100%. But on Eric Bailly, when he first came in, as you guys were saying, like, he looked like a fantastic talent, and he really did. I remember Ian Wright going on about they've got a steal here for 30 mil or 25, however much it was. And he was absolutely fantastic. But he was always reckless and rash, but we thought with age and with experience, that will go. Firstly, it's never gone. Right, it is never gone. It's just always been there, the recklessness. And secondly, as you say, the injuries have just hampered his career so much. It is almost sad. My question is, how do you get rid of a guy like that?
I don't think you can.
No, I think his contract will run down.
Yeah,
a bit like Tony V. I think his contract will just run down. They won't renew it, and he'll just be on his way, which is sad. I think is really sad.
How many years does he have left? Do you know?
Oh. I have no idea off the top of my head.
Can we get people in the comments? Can we try and find out how many years are left on Eric Bailly's contract? That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Hazard a guess, I'd probably say it's 2. Two, I think.
Chappie05LI. Delot should play right wing and Wan-Bissaka right back. Look at Delot. He is really fast and good at getting past defenders. His crosses are also decent, and he would have had more assists if we had good finishers. Interesting, but as Mark Goldbridge said many, many times, if you play Delot on the right, you know, you pretty much negate the fact that he was bought as a right back, and fitting square pegs in round holes, trying to put Delot over onto the right wing, we've sort of gone past that. We had Antonio Valencia turn into a right back, we had Ashley Young turn into a right back and a left back. We shouldn't really be converting players, although if Delot really wants a future at Manchester United now Wan-Bissaka's signed, maybe he does have to play right wing, because at the end of the day, Wan-Bissaka is not going to be ousted by Dalot. I don't think Dalot is going to be as good a defender as Aaron.
No,
what I'd say is, Dorothy, this should be your role, but to play devil's advocate, right? Gareth, yeah, that was cheap.
That was cheesy.
I'm sorry. But talking about good conversions, Gareth Bale.
Look, we are what? We are 2 hours and 15 minutes away from the end of the transfer window. Gareth Bale to Manchester United.
No, wait, no. I'm not talking about bringing Gareth Bale in.
Oh, good.
I'm talking about,
good God.
Oh, Christ, I'm not. I haven't gone that crazy, mate.
I was going to say, I thought.
You've been on the sangria already.
Everyone just calm down, right? Okay. No, I wasn't talking about Gareth. Jesus, Georgie. I was talking about Gareth Bale's conversion from left back to left wing.
Yeah.
He was started off as a left back at Southampton and at Spurs, and then he showed attacking promise, and so he went forward, left winger, and he's turned into a fantastic player.
By the way, Mike Clark has just come in, along with Lily and a few others, saying Bay's contract is until the 30th of June 2020. So next year. That means he's in the last year of his contract.
Yes, lads, get rid of him.
Interesting. We need to stop doing this, like releasing players for free. It's not good. It really isn't good.
I know he's not a big. He's not played a big role, but he's still a player that would need replacing.
Absolutely.
What I'd say is, we've talked a lot about the lack or the lack of incomings to United. Can we talk about the lack of outgoings from United? Because I think that's equally as important. A rebuild doesn't always need to be, let's bring 8 players in. It's, let's bring in 3 or 4 and let's get rid of 4 or 5 as well. You know what I mean? I want to know what you guys think on that.
You first. I'm trying to sort something out. 2 seconds.
I've touched on this and I'll touch on it again then. 30 million for Chris Smalling. Would you pay that? No, you wouldn't. So there's one that's not going to go.
No, don't say that. We need them to pay 30 million. You can't say don't pay it. Absolutely.
He's a fantastic player.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. You bring his mate with him who's got pink boots and you can have 2 for the price of 1. Take him.
Take him. Just take him.
And it's the same with Darmian. Darmian hasn't done anything. For me, Darmian hasn't done enough on a transfer fee. So that'll be another one. I guarantee you that we'll just run down until it's gone. He'll be gone and then we won't place him again.
What's happened to Darmian? I remember when he first came in, and you might call me crazy, but I remember him being at right back and going, look, we've got a fantastic right back here. He's defensively solid. Going forward, he's a bit suspect, but we've got a good right back. And then suddenly, he just went to shit.
I just don't think he's took to play in the United way. For me, he's not a Manchester United player. Let's be honest, he's not a Manchester United player.
Tell you what.
Yeah, he showed some promise and he did all right. He didn't do nothing like crazy to jump out at us and say, yeah, Darmian's great. And I think he's just found himself over time just falling down the list. And I think that's him basically done. But there's one thing here I just wanted to touch on while we're talking, going back to the CDM. If we don't sign anybody, somebody's put, I can't find it, but they've put Axel Tuanzebe. We're talking about not changing positions. Axel Tuanzebe at CDM.
I'm just going to bring in... Sorry, guys. Very, very quickly. I am just bringing in Andrew, who's our American friend. Andrew, are you there?
Yes, lad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, there we are, Andrew. We got you on at last. So last show you were muted, which made it slightly fun at the start. So
slightly awkward.
Are you hearing anything stateside, Andrew? Is there much excitement over the transfer window over there? Do you hype it up as much as we do in the UK?
Oh, I mean, totally. We've got confirmation that United are going to be getting Jadon Sancho and Christian Eriksen and everybody Manchester United's ever dreamed of over here. That's what the rumors have been.
Messi on loan.
Oh, that was just my dream last night.
Wow. So there's a few people in the comments saying Maddison, they'd love Maddison. Where's all this talk of Maddison come from?
I've checked Twitter. I've checked nothing on Twitter.
Yeah, nothing. A lot of people just... I think there's going to be a lot of ins and outs. I mean, look, guys, we've got 2 hours.
Sorry, John.
No, go.
There's somebody put on a video here of burning the pink United shirt. Dear Man United, I'm heartbroken. My beloved club has become a laughingstock, and all because of that man. I'm watching the coming season as a neutral. I have no strength to witness the repeat of last season. Now, I don't agree, and our American friend agree with us. They do that a lot in America, like especially with the NBA and stuff. I just don't think that's something you should be doing. And
No.
I agree, Woodward out, but it's just that is sacrilege. You can't do that.
No, not at all. Like, I'm sorry, but once you have your team.
Someone's just said check Craig Norwood's Twitter. You carry on, Andrew. I'm just going to check things.
Yeah, I'm just doing
but once you have your club, you don't move away from your club.
Nothing.
Like, I'm sorry, like that's like you said, that's sacrilegious. Like that basically makes you even worse than being a Liverpool fan.
Is there anything worse than being a Liverpool fan? Probably being a Leeds fan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
we all Leeds, gone. We all Leeds. Sorry, I'm sorry.
The deadline day is getting to everybody, isn't it?
oh wow, yeah,
you're absolutely right. Like, you just, I don't understand how you could watch from a neutral perspective. Just no matter what's going on, you love your time. You love your club in the good times. You love your club in the bad times, because at the end of the day, bad times, you've got no reason to love them in the good times.
What I will say is that isn't going to do anything. Like, this is what me and Mark, what we were talking about earlier with Mark, like banners, protests, hashtags, nothing. It's not going to do anything. The only way that something will change is a couple seasons at mid-table, or I can't think of the other reason now. Oh yeah, or we don't go, or none of us just don't turn up to games, but that won't happen. No,
of course it won't.
Nothing's going to happen.
But see, here's the thing: with people saying people shouldn't turn up to games, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who love the club, who are born proud Mancunians. I wouldn't turn around to someone and say, do not watch the club that you've been grown up with. It's not about that. There's nothing wrong with supporting your team. There's absolutely nothing wrong with screaming to the rafters and cheering on your team, regardless of everything that's going off the pitch. Personally, I think when people start saying you shouldn't go because obviously you're feeding into the Glazers' pockets, match tickets are a very small part of the income. Sponsorships are where it's at. So personally, I don't have a problem with anyone going to the game. If you want to go to the game and support, absolutely. You know, I love going to games, so I would not stop doing that. It's not about that.
Stan, don't go to games, mate.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, I think... Well, yeah, apparently we all just sit in our bedrooms, you know, and just broadcast. So Mark definitely didn't go to any games last season. Certainly didn't go to any games last season.
Did he go to the Chelsea one a little while ago?
No, it was CGI. We actually managed to put him in there in a sort of...
I just never heard him going on about it. That's the only thing. I never heard him mention it.
No, and I didn't hear him go to any other games either. So he's certainly never been to a game in his life. I can categorically tell you that. Mark Goldbridge has never stepped inside
This is the
Old
thing.
Trafford.
He's sitting... Today, he's not actually filming with rants. He's sitting behind his green screen trying to work out how it works, because of course behind the green screen
is another green screen.
He's trying to get out. He's trying to get out, and you know, we all support Mark in that.
No, Sander, it's a lie. Behind the green screen is another green screen. His life is a lie.
Sander, it's a whole new world. Everything's different.
It's like Narnia.
It's worse than Narnia. Oh, let's not get started on Narnia. So, Tom, you said about there was a Manchester United fan. You said there was a fan burning a shirt. I've just found the video. I'm not going to put it on here because obviously you need copyright and all that kind of stuff. But it does say, "Dear at Man United, I'm heartbroken. My beloved club has become a laughingstock, all because that man #Woodward. I'm watching the coming season as a neutral. I've no strength to witness the repeat of last season. Heartbroken, angry emoji, #Woodward out."
I think there's such drama queens nowadays in the fan base. Yeah, like, look, at the end of the day, we're not going well, but United have been relegated and we still stuck with them. Stick with them now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. This sort of thing really pisses me off, because yes, it's not going well, but we have got Harry Maguire, we have got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we have got Daniel James, and yes, the transfer window is not ideal, but as I say, we've been relegated before, right? And the fans still stuck with them. That sort of thing, those sort of fans, they're not true fans, but that really does piss me off.
Yeah. Do you know what? I read earlier as well. Somebody tweeted out saying, "What a chance is Ed Woodward gets a sack September 4th? Not a chance. No way. Why? What in sense does that make? That I think. I mean, the bloke's not doing a great job. But if you get rid of Ed Woodward, who's in charge then? Who's the one calling the shots then? We don't know already.
So he's making the Glazers money. Why would the Glazers sack a man that's making them money? Do you know what I mean?
And there's something on David Neres quickly, just while we're here, from the Manchester Evening News. It says, according to the report from Yahoo Esporta, Ajax were offered £50 million recently buy it from Manchester United, but it's understood that they were holding out for 70 million euros. That's what led him to then say to sign a new contract to Ajax, because basically we put a bid in, Ajax rejected it, they wanted an extra 20 million, we said no, that was the end of that.
I think it's an interesting... I don't know what you think about it, Andrew. I think at the moment everyone's just scratching around hoping that something's going to happen, and it's almost like we're trying to look anywhere for anything from Manchester United, any scrap. Doesn't matter whether it's Sean Longstaff. And at the end of this window, guys...
Victor Wanyama.
Well, again, Victor Wanyama. So Sanders just had to pop out a second. So I just need to sort a few things out. But I
just quickly while we still got you. I've got something in front of me. It says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in a similar transfer position as Jose Mourinho was last year. Do you say that's fair, or do you say that he has actually had a fairer, a similar sort of transfer window?
Go on, Andrew. You answer first.
So I was just gonna say, like, in terms of what the window was, I would say it would be relatively similar to that. In fact, I would say I would honestly say the defense was the thing we needed to sort out the most, even in Mourinho's first year.
Absolutely.
So I think that we've come in and we've sorted at least getting the right back that we so desperately needed, and somebody that looks like he's came into this team and already upped his game to another level. We already know what Harry Maguire is going to bring, and I think that Harry Maguire is going to come to Manchester United and show just how good he actually is. I watched him for about 20 games last year.
Yeah, honestly,
and he is so good. For people that say he's overrated, I'm not saying that the price tag is right, but I'm actually saying that overall, for what people rate him at, he's actually underrated. His ability to bring the ball out of the back is impressive. Yeah. His passing ability is pretty dang good.
Right, let's get over to the live comments. Sorry, I don't mean to cut across people, but it's the trouble is at the moment we've got news coming in everywhere. Got people in the live comments, and you guys are obviously incredibly important. So we've got. Let's have a look through these. Someone saying Depression United. Depression deal done, crying emojis. This window is slightly better than last season, but not by much. I think it is slightly better than last season, because last season, although let's be honest, we did sign Lee Grant last season, so how can you not be happy about that?
Yeah, greatest signing that ever occurred
Lee
in Manchester
Grant.
United history.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, there's now 10,000 of you watching, which is mental. So please stick a like on the video. Please subscribe to the United Stand, officially now the world's biggest Manchester United fan channel. Can we get a round of applause there somewhere? No? There we go. There we go. So we'll get Sandra on in a minute. He just needed a timeout. He was a bit cranky. So he'll love me for saying that. He can hear everything we're saying now, but I've got him on mute. Sorry, mate. But he'll be fine. He just needs a little rap on the wrist sometimes. It's fine.
I see a lot of people in the comments saying about Mendes being in England, and there's been a lot of talk about Fernandes. Yes. I can honestly tell you now, it couldn't be further from the truth. Mendes is here basically to wrap up the David De Gea contract and the young man Hannibal, whatever his name is. I can't even remember, but Mendes is here to wrap up those two deals, and that is basically all he's here for. He was supposed to be touting Fernandes to Manchester United, but because he's been given a main role, and a lot of people have been criticizing me on Twitter saying, why do you keep mentioning him about Fernandes? Because Sporting have given Mendes a role to help sell Fernandes. So Sporting want to sell him, and United haven't even approached him, apparently, from what I've heard. So I don't know.
Right. We'll come back to that in a second. Hold that thought. There are a number of super chats. Luckily, I can now view them all. So there's a few of them. So let's strap in for this. Humza Rahman, £1.99. Thank you very much for your contribution. Well done. You've just overtaken, I'm not going to mention them, the other channel. Thank you very much. Voyo 2.0, boycott matches and merchandise, hashtag Glazers out. Well, I'm afraid we're probably not. We've just discussed that, and I think fine by the merchandise. If you want to go watch games, absolutely go and watch the games. If in a death 99, I want Angel, Chong and Greenwood to get all games, not just a waste on the bench. We don't need a 33-year-old striker. We did read that out earlier, but thank you again. George Kyle, last I heard Sander, he was signing Hala Madrid. Don't know what that was in relation to. Sorry. Santiago Barrientos, Lozano, 40 million, marketable, lots of goals and assists.
Injured.
He is injured. Metal Music Reviews, MMR. There won't be any more signing, guys. Glazers go cash in Lukaku. Their checkbooks are now closed. Hate to break it to you. Rockada GJ. We need to have patience and see what the youth have. No more signings mean opportunity for them to step up. Brilliant point. Jonathan Martinez. Where will Dalot fit in the team now as a sub? Probably more as a right winger, or possibly a rotation with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but Aaron's probably going to be prevalent. Carlos Innis, Berbatov and Van Persie highlight make me cry now. I think everything at the moment makes us cry now. Rudy 11 full, hashtag bring back David Gill. I think we all miss David Gill. Brilliant. Carlos Innis again, walk out on match day. That's never going to happen, mate. I don't think you can organise 75,000 people to do that. Andrew Rossi, no walkout, support the club no matter what. Again, a conflicting opinion, but everyone's opinion is welcome, is exactly what we just discussed. Vincent Kirk, welcome. You are a brand new member of the United Stand Members Club. Again, guys, you can be a member of the channel. Brandon B, do you think that we are actually starting the rebuilding phase, starting with the defence and then moving forward up the field? I know we are disappointed with the window, but are we starting right? Fantastic point, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. And George Reyes, just a contribution with nothing to say, but thank you anyway. So, guys, let's go back to Brandon B. Do you think that we are actually starting the rebuilding phase, starting with the defence and then moving forward up the field? I know we are disappointed with the window, but are we starting right? I'm going to open that up to the floor. I to be honest, it's a brilliant point because we have sorted out the defence, guys.
I said last season that defense last season was horrendous. It was embarrassing at times to watch it. I was hiding behind the sofa when I couldn't get to Old Trafford just before you go there. But I was hiding behind my sofa. I was thinking I couldn't believe what I was watching. So for me, as much as a priority centre mid was, and we need an out and out striker, the defence had to be the first and foremost thing that was addressed. And for me, that's why this transfer window hasn't been a complete disaster, because we have improved the team. If we haven't,
breaking news! Sorry, Tom. Sorry, I hate to do this. Simon Peach has just tweeted, X hashtag MUFC midfielder Paul Scholes on Romelu Lukaku. I don't think he was suited to Ollie either. He told PA. Ollie wants someone with a bit of energy, a bit of speed, someone who's going to work hard, but he'll score goals. Okay, so...
I need a question.
Yes.
Based on our...
hi, Sander, you're back.
I had to calm down. That video of the fan burning his jersey just got me a little bit riled up. I do apologise.
Did your timeout calm you down? Did the time on the naughty step be okay?
Well, absolutely. It's just, I've not been on in a little while, so I got overexcited and I got a little bit rowdy. I do apologise. But based on our transfer activity so far, guys, and this goes to the comments as well, what would we say out of 10 transfer activity so far out of 10?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Honestly, I would say I'm ecstatic with Harry Maguire. I love Harry Maguire. I think he's exactly what we needed in defence. And I don't think there's any other striker. I know Koulibaly's amazing, but Harry Maguire will walk straight in, know all the players anyway. He's already played in the Premier League. He's the perfect signing at the moment, especially to go next to Lindelof. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's one of those right backs that don't come along very often. Obviously, Liverpool got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is phenomenal. Aaron is just a tiny bit behind Trent in development. So, to be honest with you, those two had to come in for Manchester United, and now the defence is pretty much sorted, which is what we needed. We've got De Gea. He's going to feel a lot more confident with those guys at the back. So, for me, the transfer window for defence-wise has been a success. But in terms of what we actually needed for an entire team challenging for next season, I'm going to say it is a massive letdown. So I'm going to get I'm going to give it 5. I mean, there's a load of guys in the comments. You got David Kind 3, Boothie 2, 4, 6, 4, Martin Francis 1, Raphael Allen 5, trick shots only 4 at the most, Daryl Blackman 5.
I think on average we're looking at sort of 4 or 5. Would you guys agree with that, Tom and Andrew?
I would go for about, honestly, this is going to get some slack, but I'd go for about a 6 because, like I said to you, it's not as if United haven't improved. Of course they've improved. They've improved in the defence, and at the end of the day, the best attack, all right, the best title challenges and the best challenges for top 4, you have to be defensively solid. Because if you're shipping goals left, right, and centre, no matter how many you're scoring, you're not going to get anywhere with it. And then there is the counter argument. I get that we haven't improved at the front, and you got to score the goals. What's the point keeping them out? There'd be a lot of draws, 0-0s. I think that's rubbish. So for me, I think United have a 6. I think the addition of Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, that's exactly what we needed, and that's what I just rate as a 6. I think it has been an improvement. It's not like it's been a total disaster. Do
you know what? Stephen Lilly's just said 8 out of 10 great defence, and I think if you have to look on the positive side sometimes. I think there's a lot of I get it. There's a lot of negativity, especially after last season, but the defensive side and the defensive signings have been fantastic. So Sander and Andrew, over to you. What do you think?
Well, I was going to say, to give my rating, I mean, honestly, I'm with you that I'd give it a 6. Reason being is the one thing we needed to improve most was our defense, and that's what we came in and did. Fixed our defense, and yeah, guess what? It's not an ideal window, and I'll even go tentatively to say it could be higher if during the regular season give regular game time and regular minutes to the likes of Mason Greenwood, Tahith Chong, and Angel Gomez. That it could be higher because I believe all of those players could wind up being.
You're right. You're on, mate. Oi, Matt. Sorry, I just realised I just did a very stupid thing. I thought I could pop out of chat and go into somewhere else, and I just realised I'm still live. Everyone's just heard me talking to someone else. Sorry, everyone live. If you're a bit confused over why I just went "Oi, Matt," it's because I went into something called the waiting room where other people could join in the queue. But I'm thinking, hold on, I'm hosting this. Everyone else can hear me. I could have said anything yet. So, no, Matt is in the waiting room, everyone. So if you're all confused as what the hell I just did, that was that. So there's a lot of people in the calling queues. Now, we've got
I just want to quickly add, Simon Peaches, before that tweet you said about Paul Scholes, he spoke to Phil Neville as well.
Yes.
And this is what Phil Neville had to say. You'll always score goals wherever he goes. He'll score goals for Inter Milan, but the way you want to play, you've got to fit the right people on the bus. And Romelu Lukaku was never that person.
Okay. Right.
I have to say I agree with that.
Sander, very quickly. Do you mind? We're going to get some callers in now. So I'm going to put you into different chat groups and you're going to chat to different people. And then we're going to get some people in onto the live show to give their opinions. So just get people warmed up if you don't mind. So...
Okay.
And then we'll get people in because obviously there's a lot of people watching right now. You've got over 10,000 people watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you very much for joining us. Mark Goldbridge will be joining us soon. He's online, and here he is. Hello, Mark. How's it going?
I am here now.
Being chased by the police. I can hear it.
What have you done now? Go on. Oh no, Mark's gone. Yeah. Where is he?
Signal.
This is what happens with live TV. So we'll get Mark back in a minute. I think he's either been arrested or he's jumped off the canal somewhere. So,
we heard the police sirens in the background, so I mean that could be confirmed.
Maybe he pushed someone off the bridge.
So we will get him back. He's not on. So we're going to grab in Matthew. Matthew, are you there? No, Matt has muted his microphone exactly as Andrew did the other day, everyone. Brilliant stuff. Professionalism at its best. This is exactly what we like here.
This is the best thing about live TV. So unscripted. It's great.
It is. It is completely unscripted. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Right. Sander, did you find anyone that you wanted us to talk to?
Not in particular. I heard a few people going on, but I couldn't identify who they were. But not in particular. But can I quickly just say,
yes.
I'm sorry to sort of butt in again with my own opinion, but that's what I do. I'm selfish. I just wanted to say we were talking about rating the transfer window out of 10, and Sir Alex Ferguson said, great attacks win you games and great defences wins you leagues. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go win the league, but you've got to build from the back. And as I think it was Andrew was saying that earlier, we really have now got a defence that I think is young, hungry, talented, that can go on for years to come. I think
it's a foundation.
Absolutely. And what Andrew was saying was it could even go potentially higher than a 6 if players like Mason Greenwood, Tahith Chong and Angel Gomez step up to the mark. The only thing I would say is, where's that potential for a rise in a stat in the midfield? You know, I mean, we're stuck with Matic, Pereira, Pogba and McSauce. And there's not really anyone that can break through there, you know?
Right. We've got a
thing we gotta remember too is that we've got, like, it's now time for Andres Pereira and Fred to truly step up in the game.
Okay, so we got a couple of... Sorry, guys. Got a couple of super chats. Tamal Malik. When Mourinho quoted finishing second was his biggest achievement, it got me angry. If Ollie finishes fourth with this midfield, give him 10 years contract. That's a strong thing. Gold Piece Prosperity says, great work, guys. An extended family, brothers in arms to wallow through the season. Incredible job, Drawlty, on the graphics and the looping video. It's embarrassing, I know that. Winky face. Others, kindly reintroduce yourselves and come on more often. And I'll get to that in a second. And another contribution from Brandon B. I think with the next phase would be midfielders. If we scrape top 4, then that opens up doors for quality players. Jadon Sancho is an example. It's a good point. We could miss out on Bruno. There are more players popping up year after year. Thoughts? We'll visit that in a second. Guys, do you just quickly want to reintroduce yourselves? We are about an hour and a half into the broadcast now. So very welcome to Manchester United's biggest global fan channel. Can I get a round of applause for that again?
Hey.
So, yes, you're all very welcome to 10,500 of you watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you were brand new. I guarantee many of you are. Let's try and push for 529,000 subscribers, shall we? We're already at 528,630. So, guys, if you just want to reintroduce yourselves, I'm going to start off with Sander, Mr. Sander Seegers.
Obviously, I feel like I'm on some sort of dating show. I'm Sander Seegers. I'm 24. I'm not 24. I'm 18 years old, and I'm single and ready to mingle. No, I'm joking. Basically, I'm a bit loud at times. I'm trying to tone it down. I got put on the naughty step a little while ago. I'll say my opinion. You might like it, you might not, but there you go.
And Tom. Tom is a journalist, so Tom.
Breaking news from Simon Peach.
Ooh, okay, go.
At Old Trafford, quite at MUFC right now. Indications are that it's going to stay that way. So there you go. I think that pretty much says what we're going to expect in the next 2 hours.
Fantastic. So we've got pretty much an hour and 3/4 of dead air. That's brilliant. No, sorry guys, it's not dead air. Watch the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get Mark on.
I've got news in, Drawty. I've got news in, Drawty, that I've got Ronaldo is signing, so stay tuned for that.
Ronaldo, Cristiano. Do you know what? I'll get a graphic prepared to that.
What, the big Brazilian forward that we needed?
Absolutely, yeah. He's a little bit old, but I think he'll bring some quality experience to the team.
Do you know what? I'm actually happy with that, because he'd probably be a bit more mobile than Lukaku.
Right, let's see if we can get...
Sorry, guys.
Right, so we've got... let's try and get Matthew in, shall we?
Cristiano, do you know what? I'll get a graphic prepared.
Oh, Matthew, we can actually hear you, but you've kind of got us talking. No,
still not there.
Okay, Matthew's died, everyone.
Guys, I have a question.
I've had a question on Twitter.
Yeah, go.
On the video that we're doing. Right.
Yeah.
It says, what about Timothy Fosu-Mensah for CDM? He was the Premier League's quickest player, and he can naturally play right back or CDM. Still 21 years of age, has experience 3 years in the Premier League. I don't know about that. Finally, he's naturally built CDM. Is he worth a shot? I don't really know about Fosu-Mensah. He's a weird player because there was one point where we could say, yes, he was going to feature. And then all of a sudden, he's just drowned it out with the crowd, I guess.
What I'd say on Fosu-Mensah is he's gone on loan to Palace and Fulham and it hasn't worked out. And that's got to be for a reason. It has to be for a reason. I don't think he's a right back. I do think he is that sort of Terminator, central midfield destroyer. But as you say, well, as I said, he's gone on loan to Fulham and Crystal Palace and it hasn't worked out. So you can't trust him to cut it at Manchester United either then.
Well, Sandra, I'll counter you on that one, because if you look at the fact that he did go to those places to go try and play right back, when we all know that his best position has been CDM, him being played out of position, give him a chance at CDM.
If he was
I would love to see him go
to
to where it actually played there.
I was going to say, Andrew, if he was that talented a midfielder, surely he would shine, and the managers would see his potential in that position and play him there.
But but that's the thing, is I genuinely don't know if with loan deals, when they go in, if they're meant to only play in one position, or if it's meant that.
Hello.
Ah, the Gold Bridge.
Oh, hello, Mark. How's it going?
Well, you'd never think this. I'm in one of the most densely populated capitals in the world, in London, and I've had to walk for 20 minutes to try and get some reception. It's disgraceful. So,
That is dedication right there.
Are you walking along the Thames right now with forlorn thoughts?
if people want, you should get a camera on me now. I'm actually outside the Tower of London, looking at the Tower Bridge and looking at Twitter and seeing the despair. Doing my notes for my 5 o'clock rant, which I never wanted to do, but it's going to have to happen, isn't it? Nothing's going to happen. I'm just thinking, the people are just walking around in shock, with mouths wide open. They just can't believe it, and they're not even United fans. Some of them.
Mark, I asked the lad this earlier. What would you rate, if this transfer window stays as it is, what would you rate this transfer window out of 10?
3, if it stays how it is. If we sign Mandzukic, 1.
Mark, I mean, obviously you're going to sum up the transfer window when it hits at 5 p.m. after we've done probably no business, and then you're going to obviously unleash whatever it is you're going to say. Very quickly, whilst everyone is here, and we've got 10,500 watching, so you can thank me later.
Stunning.
So, for a transfer deadline show, which is not too bad, hosted by CGI Devil, that's not too bad. How are you feeling about now becoming, and it is official, the world's biggest #1 Manchester United fan channel?
Yeah, well, I mean, it couldn't have happened on a better time, because we've got our 500,000 subscriber get-together tonight in London at 7 o'clock, which is why I'm here. We've been #1 for a long time, that's all I'm going to say. I think we were really #1 from day one when 10 people were watching, because the purpose of the show is to give people a platform. And, I'm down here with Rants and Flex. You're doing a live show with 10,000 people watching for the world, with people like Xander and Tom and Southwick and Matt and everyone getting involved. And that's what the channel is all about. So it's very nice to officially be #1, but we've been #1 for a very long time, and that's because of what we do. That's because of what we do.
Can we get a round of applause for Goldbridge, please?
I was about to say, without sort of sucking up to anyone here, I think everyone in the comments, big congratulations to you guys, but big congratulations to Draw to Your Mark, who've started it from day one. And you might not see it all the time, but the amount of work that goes into the channel is actually ridiculous. So congratulations, guys! You should be proud of yourself.
I agree. I just have to say that the work and dedication that's gone into it, it's very much more than deserved.
Anyway, back to the transfer window. What's all this positivity? Get rid of the positive. The Glazer outs are going mad. Shut up about Goldbridge and Drawty and the United stand. There's a transfer window here, and they're right. It's to bring it back to that. I mean, I was just talking to Rants and Flex. And I think we're going to go to a pub when we film this Chelsea thing, so I'll be able to get them on for you as well. But it's just a general not surprise because of the owners. But I was actually saying there, in many ways, you've got to say big up to the Glazers, because they don't give a shit. Like they've had Glazers out trending all summer. They're going to have pretty much a net spend of profit, and they still don't care. They genuinely do not care what they do to this football club, as long as their bank balance bulges. Like, it's just illogical to sell Lukaku the day before the transfer window closes, when they could have waited a week to get everyone's hopes up. What?
Has he actually gone yet, Lukaku? Is it actually official yet? I've not seen.
Well, it isn't official, and there won't be an official video for it on this channel, because the transfer window can basically bog off after 5 o'clock. I'm done with it. But I mean, Rojo's going to go for 25 million. We're below 50 million net spend, and if somebody had said that to me in May, I would have said you're crazy. And there is a feeling of just absolute, not shock, because it's not shocking, but just total and utter disillusionment. And we were just talking there about the season ahead, and obviously you're going to get the happy clappers who are just going to be Mr. Positive and Mrs. Positive and say, oh yeah, we can have a good season. But I can't remember a season I've been into with United where there's not been a little bit of me thinking, you never know, we might have a title challenge. Even last year, because it was Mourinho when we finished second, I was like, you never know. But this year, I do know. This is fourth at best, and if Ollie gets better than fourth, he deserves a statue because it's that bad in my mind.
Simon Peach says there's nothing happening, so I'm pretty much
take that to the bank then.
Yeah, pretty much take it to the bank. So I guess, guys, what we need to ask you whilst you're on the line, Mark, is how are you feeling about that's it? That is the Manchester United transfer window. It looks like it's over unless something breaks in the next 1 hour 40 minutes.
Well, I'll do my reaction at 5, and it will be a rant. And that's not a rant for views or anything like that. It's his absolute 100% honest disgust. I'm disgusted. Absolutely disgusted with the ownership of this football club, that you can go into a transfer window like this, neglect your midfield, let Ander Herrera walk out for bloody nothing because you didn't give him a new contract, not replace him, not replace Lukaku, leave your midfield absolutely exposed. Paul Pogba doesn't even want to be here, and you've not even bought a midfielder. I think it's an absolute disgrace. It's disgusting, and I think United fans need to take a long, hard look at themselves, because I'm fed up of people saying, what's United Stan going to do? What are you going to do? All I can do is say what I think, and a lot of other people think. But there's people out there ridiculing Glazers out. There's people out there saying, oh, shut up, I've seen it worse. Until you get a United fan base who decide to do something logical that is going to really make a difference, and flying a banner over doesn't, then nothing's going to be done. And I don't necessarily have the ideas. I don't have the solutions either. But I do have the desire that this is a disgrace, it's disgusting, and them people who run our club get very rich and have got very rich off our money, and they ain't spending it again. It's disgusting.
Mark, to make your situation worse, Mark Christensen 4 hours ago said Tottenham agree personal terms with Dybala, with Sessegnon and Lo Celso set for medicals, and 6 minutes ago, Fabrizio Romano has said and now have signed their contracts. Both have signed their contracts.
So
Dybala's back on?
No. Dybala's off. Dybala's off. That was for Lo Celso and Sessegnon.
Still an impressive window.
What was it? Ndombele, Lo Celso, Sessegnon. Look, these are players we would have all loved to sign. So, yeah, fair play to them.
2 midfielders on a midfield that was already better than ours.
Do you know who I think had a good window? I think Everton have had a good window.
Yeah, Everton have had a fantastic window, haven't they?
Yeah.
Wolves. I read last night. I don't know whether it's come to fruition, but they were going for Yamina, and if they didn't get Yamina, they were going to get Franck Kessie from AC Milan. They've already got a better midfield than us. They've strengthened that. Leicester have had Tielemans. Everton have had a good window. Arsenal have had a good window.
Yeah.
Do you know what, like Tielemans? It's the same as Fernandes, isn't it? This is my opinion. They were there for the taking, but United just didn't bite.
I think that's the problem. Like having done this for a few years. Fabinho, 3 years before he went to Liverpool, we were talking about him on this channel every summer. We said it'd be perfect. When we bought Matic, I was like, it should be Fabinho. A year later, he goes to Liverpool, he's brilliant. There are so many fans put their opinion down and think they don't know more than a manager. They don't know more than a chief executive. They don't know more than a scout. The reality is, if you watch this channel, people do know more, because United are not scouting the right people and they're not buying the right people. Tielemans proved himself to be Premier League proven. 40 million quid, we should have got him.
Here's one for you,
Fabinho,
Mark.
we should have got him.
It would have been a steal, wouldn't it?
Very quickly, beautiful ski says, Goldbridge ship sinking. I'm guessing you're going to have to go down with that Bruno Fernandes ship, Mark.
That's why I'm near water. I'm next to the Thames.
Oh, don't jump. Flex is going to have to jump in there and go rescue you.
But you know what? Actually, on that, because I was saying this to somebody today, you know what? In defence of me, I always said from March that Bruno Fernandes was a priority for Manchester United, and I'm not going to change that. People could disagree with me if they like. Just because you don't sign a player doesn't mean they're not a priority. Perisic 2 years ago was the priority for Mourinho, and Woodward walked away because he didn't want to pay 50 million. So Mourinho didn't get his man, because that's what United do. If they don't want to pay the price, they don't care whether it's the player the manager wants, they won't pay it. And what came out of United at the start of the week is they're not in for Bruno Fernandes. The price is overinflated. And that's the relevant statement. The price is overinflated. Not, we're not in for him, we're never in for him. We're not in for him. The price is overinflated. So they don't want to pay the price. But added to that as well, because you know as well, I've been saying it since March about Bruno Fernandes, and my source, you know as well, David Amiol, who works with Dimarzio, he tweeted a week ago that Fernandes will go to United. He got a load of stick, and he put a statement out yesterday. Considering this is a very credible person who works with Dimarzio and everybody, he said, "I'm putting my hands up, I got it wrong. But I didn't make it up. That's not what I do." Credible journalists who I trust and still trust told me that Bruno Fernandes was coming to Manchester United. For whatever reason, that has not turned out to be the case. So that's a totally different source with totally different journalists. What I understand, the way I look at it is this. United wanted Bruno Fernandes. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Bruno Fernandes. United didn't want to pay the fee. And anybody who disbelieves that needs to look at the last 6 years. It happened with Moyes. It happened with Van Gaal. It happened with Mourinho. And it's happened with Solskjaer. Don't believe the mugging off that comes out that, we were never in for them. Because actually, in many ways, it's worse if they're not in for them. Because that means we weren't even in for a midfielder when we need one. They were in for them. It's always the same. They don't want to spend money. And whoever said at the start of the summer, United's transfer budget is only 100 million, and even I ridiculed them and went, "You're having a bloody laugh. We've got to spend about 250. Whoever said that, and I think it might have been ESPN actually, I think it might have been Mark Ogden. Whoever said United have only got 100 million pounds to spend, applaud them. They were spot on. It's disgusting, but they're right. United aren't going to spend more than 100 million. They might not even spend more than 50.
Well, this is the worry.
If Rojo goes and Lukaku's done, that people say, yeah, but they spent loads of money on defence. Wire and Wan-Bissaka. That's irrelevant to me. That's not even real money because it's paid itself off already.
Yeah, the net spend's going to be about 50, isn't it? Anyway, lads, I'll leave you to it for a bit because I've just got to go and film something. But I'll be back with you in the final hour.
Cool. Thank you very much, Mark, and we will speak to you later. Okay, so there are 12,250 of you watching right now. Amazing how you've stuck through it this far. Thank you very much. We've still got an hour and a half to go on air. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We've got, 528,690 subscribers. It'd be lovely if we could get it up to 529,000, wouldn't it, whilst we're on air? So, guys.
40.
Yes.
Well, I was going to ask Mark this question, but he had to jump off, obviously.
Yeah.
And I want to ask the comments as well, because this is the beauty of the United Stand, isn't it? It's so interactive. You guys are as much of a part of this show as we are. So get your answers in below. I want to know, based on our transfer activity so far then, and let's assume that this is going to stay the same, and looking at the other clubs in the top six, where would you say that we are going to end up in relation to the top six?
I think defensively, last year I think it was 54 goals leaked in the league, which is the worst since 1978, 1979. So defence was clearly a priority for Ollie and probably, the backboard. I think this season defensively will be a lot more compact. I think Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka add a different dynamic that we haven't had before, which was what we desperately need. Now, whether that helps transition from the back to the front, the midfield is unchanged from last season. So it's difficult to say. If we let in less goals, we might win more games, but they might be tight 1-0s. I'm going to say at this moment in time, considering the business that Spurs have done, considering Liverpool haven't actually spent at all, but still got a very extremely strong squad. Manchester City have strengthened. Chelsea haven't got Hazard anymore, but they got Pulisic. I'm going to say we'll still get top four.
Oh, because sorry, I obviously respect your opinion, but in for me, right? You look at City, you look at Liverpool. I don't think anyone, regardless of the transfer activity, I don't think anyone's near them yet. So I can pretty much say categorically that they're going to be top two, unless a shock happens, right? Yeah. Then you look at Spurs and Arsenal. I think Spurs, if they get Lo Celso and Sessegnon, they've had an absolutely fantastic window, and they were already top four anyway, right? Minus these fantastic transfers. So I would say they're top four. If Arsenal now go and get Pepe, obviously they've already got him done, David Luiz and Kieran Tierney. Yeah. Christ, they've strengthened their defence, they've strengthened their attack. Yes, the midfield is still a bit suspect, but I'd have to back them for top four as well. So for me, fifth with Chelsea in sixth.
Do you know what? The live comments are exploding at the moment. We've got a sixth, we've got someone said first, Spaghetti said first. Well, I mean, if your name's Spaghetti, I'd imagine that's the kind of direction you're going down. RML 9th, Max 4 at best, Hamzy plays 6th, Vardy Candy 7th. We've got a 20th. I guess there's a couple of very, very salty Liverpool fans in here at the moment, and Arsenal fans. Tim Shea, 9th, top 4, ha 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 ha. Jason Green, fair enough. I probably was being a bit ambitious. Brendan Stevens, 18th. You know, honestly, at the moment, yes.
No.
It says here, someone's put here, sorry.
Go on.
Someone's put 4th and Europa League. Would you take that?
4th?
100%.
I think you have to, because at the end of the day, when we got... did we get second in Europa, or was it Europa then second? I think
we got...
Oh, it was 6th, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
All the years are all blending into one. You know, it's not a major trophy. It is a major trophy, but no one ever considers it a major trophy.
Success for United this season.
But the thing is... Sorry.
Sorry.
No,
Can I just say that for the top 4 thing, top 4 is possible together. If we have people that step up in the midfield, because obviously we're not getting another midfield signing.
Well,
with Arsenal and Chelsea a whole lot to make that happen. But I think that 4th is a definite possibility. Irrespective of that, I'll say this. Arsenal's attacking signings have been phenomenal. Kieran Tierney is a great signing. But for the David Luiz signing, which center back was the position that Arsenal needed to improve the most, isn't an improvement on anything they've got. Let's be real about that.
No, yeah, you're right. You have to be real about it. And I think sometimes ambitions outweigh what we're actually possible of. I can't remember who I saw yesterday said, Man United need to realise they're no longer one of the big players, because we still think we're a massive club. But considering the past 6 years have basically been failure, which they have been, I think we can just sign anyone we want. And it's probably not that way at all. Very quickly, guys, back to the super chats, because obviously these guys have made contributions. Adam Norfolk, snatch up Andy Carroll, Big Kaz, beast. Wow.
That's desperate, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've had a tough this last 6 years, but it's not been that bad.
No. George Carl, did Sander ever play for that guy's drink he knocked over when he went to that match? People must know. Sander, did you knock it over?
No comment.
Okay. Rahul Ramchadran says, without Goldbridge on the seat, we are missing rage. Well, I'm pretty sure if you stick around, Rahul, you will get some rage from
Oh, you had
Goldbridge.
rage in me, but I got put on the naughty step for it.
Yes, and rightly so, you naughty boy. So,
I do apologise.
Tamal Mullik says, everyone thought we would do some business with Lukaku money. Meantime, Ed purchases Bruno Dybala on FIFA with all the money in the bank. Hashtag Glazers out. I'm guessing he means FIFA coins. So he might have done that.
Can I just say as well, I've got more super chats.
We've got a fair few more super chats, so I need to get through them. Delicate Official says, let's do a Kickstarter for $5 billion to buy this club from the bloody Glazers. Kick out Woodward and fix the team and fix its debt. Right fucking now.
Agree.
That's a great
you've
one.
got a bottomless pot, you can buy it, but it's the cost of running it.
It's going to be astronomical. Brandon B says, I like the idea of a Kickstarter, what that could work. So pretty much 2 in a row. And Reckon Wenches. Is that right? Reckon Wenches. Okay. Everyone underestimating Wolves, Leicester, Everton, City boys. These teams will be pushing into top 6, if not top 4.
I don't think anybody's underestimating Everton and Wolves.
No.
I don't think anybody is.
But Torty, the thing is, what I was going to say was, you know, Andrew was going on about how 4th is very possible if the team gels and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
7th is also very possible, because you read out a comment that said 7th, and you sort of giggled a little bit, and I thought, well, I think Wolves and Leicester,
oh no,
they're going to be challenging us very much so.
Everton
have had this is what I mean. This United team's to lose.
Everton have had a fantastic transfer window. Let's not underestimate them. Andrew, I'm just going to say very quickly, I'm going to put you into the waiting room with Matthew, hopefully, because what we're going to try and do, because otherwise the servers will get a bit loaded, we're going to get some callers in now, very quick fire. So Sander and Tom, you can help me with asking the guys questions. We're going to be a bit quick fire with them. We'll get them on for a couple of minutes. There are many people in the calling queues now. You can get involved with our Discord in the video description below. So guys, if you want to get involved, you can do. And Andrew, I'm just going to put you in there for a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, not a problem, man.
Okay, cool. I mean, you can move around anywhere you want, really, but I'm just going to put you in there for now, and we're going to grab some people in. So let's just go with some random people. So
Excited for this.
right, this could go one of two ways. We're going to grab Sean in.
That's the beauty of it.
So let's try and get Sean. Sean, you're live on the United Stand. Can you hear us? First and foremost, Sean's probably not prepared. Sean is Sean's probably like, what? I'm not doing anything. So
Sean's in shock about our United transfer activity.
Sean, you had your chance. Sorry, mate. We're going to get in Mason now. I'm hoping that's Mason Greenwood. Mason, are you there?
Yes.
You are live on the United Stand. Welcome.
Are you Mason Greenwood?
Yes. Are you Mason Greenwood?
No.
So,
Okay.
right. So, Mason, I'm assuming your name is Mason, or it's just after Mason Greenwood. So we'll just call you Mason anyway. You don't have to give real names. It's fine. How are you feeling about the Manchester United transfer window? With an hour and a half to go, we'll forget if anything's going to happen now. How do you feel with it as it is currently?
I'm a bit shocked because I think we had the money. We had at least 40-50 million left. I think we should have just got Bruno Fernandes. I mean, Bruno wants to come to Man United, and he said in an interview he wants to play in England.
Sander,
So that
you can
should
take
be
charge of a
chance.
second. Sorry, I've got to take this phone call from Goldbridge. 2 seconds.
Mason, continue. Go on.
Yeah, so I think we should have got Bruno this year, but unfortunately, the owner was just taking the P word. Don't want to swear on your channel.
Mason,
just quickly, sorry, Sander. With that in mind, mate. What are your predictions for this season? Do you see top 4 finish? Do you see a 6th in a Europa League, or what's your opinion on that?
It depends if McTominay, we'll probably play Fred or McTominay. If they get into the game, if they play very well, then maybe we could get 4th. I mean, last season was a joke. This is the first time Arsenal, has been over us in the league for years. Normally, it's Man United going over Arsenal. Last season, it was just Arsenal going over us. So, I don't know if we can get 4th. Our defence will be really good. I mean, De Gea will have some backup, and that'd be very good because De Gea needs backup. De Gea's not a one-man guy. We all know that.
Yeah, very, very, very true, Mason. And just quickly, out of 10, I've asked a few people this, but I think it's quite a good and quick way to gauge people's opinion on the window. Out of 10, how would you rate our transfer activity?
5 out of 10.
Okay.
5's okay. And on that bombshell, Mason, thank you very much for joining us on the United Stand today.
It's an honour. Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
Good luck next season, Mason. We hope to see you in the first team.
Awesome. Right.
Thank you.
Let's get someone else in.
Just quickly before we get someone else, tell someone else who's not moving this summer. Breaking news from Sky Sports News. Crystal Palace have told Sky Sports News that their summer business is over and that Wilfried Zaha will not be leaving. So there's some more money that's not going to the Glazers. So there you go.
Okay, that's good.
I've just seen someone put in the comments, how can we call in? There's a link in the description for Discord. Just go in there, get in one of the queues, and we'll hopefully pick you.
Right, so we're going to try someone else now. McCormack 1. Okay, McCormack 1, we'll try that. Put him into there. McCormack 1, you are live on the United Stand. Are you there and are you ready? This is where they did.
It's also in shock.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Welcome, you're live on the United Stand.
Hi.
So, I like an understated hi, so I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that's right. Don't worry about that. Not really interested to be here, lads, but, I guess I'll get on with it.
I am.
I know we're not Goldbridge, so unfortunately, most people want to talk to Mark, but you can put up with us for a few minutes. So, again, same question as we asked Mason. If Man United's transfer window is over now, and that's it, we've got the 3 signings, how would you rate it?
A 4.
A 4?
A 4, yeah.
And
we got a much needed centre back, and we got a good right back, but our midfield appalling, terrible.
How would you feel if you took Pogba out of that midfield?
I think we'd be somewhere 7th or 8th in the league if we got rid of Pogba.
Cormac, I want to ask you a question. What would you say to the people that say, we can reinforce in January? Would you call them, realists and fair play? There is a window in January and we can reinforce there. Or would you say... Sorry?
Because for me, I don't think January is a reasonable window. But yeah, sorry, Sandy. Carry on.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering what you would think about people that say we can strengthen in January, McCormack.
I mean, you can, but we're already into the season then. I think it is possible, and it's better than nothing to get a midfielder in January. But I don't know. Is it too late?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because the whole point of a summer transfer window is you get them in early, they can gun with you on pre-season, the team can gel, and you hit the season with a new squad. And as you say, with the January transfer window, it's all a bit mismatch, isn't it?
Here we go then. We got T. Harris, who's just said, just seen Craig Norwood setting up his cameras outside Carrington and an entourage of cars driving in. Something is happening. # rumblings at United. I'm pretty sure that's a troll.
Yeah, not happening. It has to be. Let's be honest. What we've got an hour and 20 minutes. I think it's safe to say you could turn off Sky Sports News now.
Yeah, you can switch off.
Don't turn off this.
Yeah, but don't turn off this.
Yeah,
there might be a lot more coming. Yeah.
Don't worry, there's not going to be dead air for the next hour and 20 minutes. We will get Mark Goldbridge on soon. He's just messaged me. Andrew's just said we can get Matthew on. I'll tell you what, McCormack, very last question before we get someone else on. Okay. If you could have signed anyone else for midfield this season, other than Bruno Fernandes, because obviously everyone seems to want Bruno Fernandes, who would you have signed?
In midfield?
Yes, in midfield.
I mean, I think my main one would be Bruno, but if I can't have Bruno, I don't know. I think I wouldn't mind Eriksen, you know.
That's a good shout.
I think Dybala would be too inconsistent, just like Pogba. I just think he'd be too inconsistent.
Well, I agree.
Yeah. My opinion on Dybala is, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I as soon as we got linked to him, obviously I had a little bit of the flutters. I thought, Dybala, Pogba, fantastic. You know, they can rekindle that dynamic that they had at Juventus. But deep down, I thought it's probably not the right deal, because I just felt it was another overpaid Galactico that felt he was bigger than the club. And I'm actually, deep down, I'm sort of happy that he didn't come.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, McCormack. So
thanks.
Before you do leave though, McCormack.
Yeah.
Top 4, yes or no?
Not a chance.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, McCormack. Yeah. And please call in again, mate. I'm sure Mark will pick you up sometime.
All right, thanks.
Cheers. Right, we're going to try and get in Matthew now. Where is he? Oh, I love his... I can't say it because it's swearing, but his Avi is... You've just got a brilliant name. Okay. Matthew, are you finally there? Can you hear us?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, my God.
It's taken a while.
It's taken a while. I mean, I know the internet's slow up in Scotland, but what do you want?
I'm just turning a wheel at the moment to try and get us running.
So, Matthew, I've got to say, how are you finding the transfer window at the moment? I mean, there's a lot of people panicking. What's with all the Arsenal comments in the live comments? You've just got people saying Arsenal.
I'll check it.
I'm guessing
it's just come up all of a sudden, though.
Yeah, Tom, can you go check something? I'm guessing the Arsenal guys have sold someone. Or
I can't see anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was just looking.
There's a picture of David Luiz in Arsenal kit.
The only thing is that David Luiz has been confirmed and he's had his picture taken. That's all that they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's just a lot of Arsenal going on in there. Well, a lot of arse anal, so shall we say, which is interesting. But guys, we're gonna have to time you out if you put that out. Yeah, if you're putting those in the live comments, we'll have to time you out. So unfortunate. So Matthew. Manchester United looks like we're signing no one else. We've got Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James. Is this enough? And do you know what? I'm going to bring up the starting 11 because the guys are probably fed up of the devil. So let's just get that up. So Matthew, what do you think?
I'm going to give a big resounding no. And I think that's a pretty obvious answer, to be honest. I think don't get me wrong, the signings that we've made have been good signings. You know, Daniel James, I'd probably agree with Sander that maybe he's not quite the level yet, but you know, if you're bringing them on in the second half up against a team, then they're going to be absolutely, quaking in their boots. And then the other two players were, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 2 players that we absolutely needed. So they're absolutely perfect for a team, but we just need more. And don't get me wrong, you can't fix everything in the one transfer window.
No,
it's just so disappointing.
Yeah, I've always said it's going to take 2 more transfer windows yet, excluding January.
Yeah, that's true. And
saying this for so long, do you know what I mean? Well. We've been saying, next transfer window, sometime, at some point, the Glazers are going to have to put their hand in their pocket and spend some money on some proper players. And I know they've done it to an extent now, but our net spend, as Mark keeps going on about, is going to be around 50 million. You know what I mean? So I understand that it's a rebuilding process, but it's got to be now at some point.
50 million
it's going to be profit if we sell Darmian and Rojo.
Yeah, this is the scary thing. United have spent 148 million this summer. You take out Lukaku, Tom. How much is Lukaku going for?
Lukaku is, I believe, 73 million.
Okay, so about half the budget then. So you got about 75 million left. If Rojo goes for how much did you say? 25, something like that.
25 for Rojo.
Okay, so that is 50 million. Now you were also asking potentially about Chris Smalling going, but I don't think that's going to happen, is it?
No, Smalling's not going anywhere. He's obviously being priced out of a move, which is pretty standard. So that's what Everton have done. They've gone from Smalling to Rojo. That's literally all they've done.
So we've got an hour and 45 until the transfer window closes. So what we're actually probably expecting is for out to happen in the next hour and 15 minutes.
What I will say though, Georgie, outs can happen if they're going to a European club past 5 o'clock. So Lukaku, if it doesn't get sorted, can still leave tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. And it's only the Premier League and the Championship, I believe, all European leagues and the lower level are 1st of September.
So I think at the moment we're keeping an eye out for Rojo leaving. We're also keeping an eye out for Romelu Lukaku leaving. So I'm guessing, Tom, at some point you will get confirmation. There's got to be something with one. Obviously, Tom is our roving journalist right now, guys. Accredited journalist, is that correct?
That's right.
So he's going to keep an eye out for all of us. And just chime in whenever he has any breaking news. So,
unfortunately,
do you know what though?
Little value to the stream.
Since we've been on, there's a lot of extra players talk about United and the situation that's going on. Louis Saha has been speaking to B-Win. He spoke about Paulo Dybala. He said United aren't in the best position to tempt players like Dybala to the club. He's playing in a league with a winning side with Ronaldo, which is hard to compete with. He's not guaranteed starter for Juve Argentina, which is crazy for a player of his ability, which I think is good. But I tweeted before the show, I'm actually quite proud of Manchester United not bowing down to Dybala's demands, because I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Alexis Sanchez 2.0, I thought.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think United have learnt their lesson from that now, which is it took long enough, but we finally learnt that lesson.
I do respect United for not getting bent over at the moment, because it would have been very easy for them to just say, look, we want to get rid of a player, we'll sell him at any price, because that's pretty much how we've done things in the past. We have been notoriously bad for selling players and getting any value for them. So if it looks like Lukaku's going to go down to the wire, it's probably already done, to be fair. They're probably just waiting to announce it. And Rojo, if it is going to happen, they probably need to do something within the next 20 minutes, I'd imagine, because obviously an hour is very tight to get any paperwork done, isn't it?
Again, what I would add as well, we haven't really talked about him too much today, but a big disappointment for me was not selling Alexis Sanchez. I think a lot of people talk about, and we can ask you guys later, a lot of people have been talking about, he can come back into the team and prove his quality, but I think getting rid of him should have been. He has messed the wage structure up so much. If you're Rashford...
hold on. No, sorry, breaking news. Inter Milan have just announced that Romelu Lukaku has left Manchester United. This is breaking news, guys. Yep. Romelu Lukaku has left Manchester United. This is official. Guys, I'm going to let you talk, because I'm going to quickly go and ring Mark Goldbridge, because we will try and get him on the line. So, Sander, over to you.
I have a video. Inter have just released a video of Lukaku and kit at their training ground, and he's having a great time by the look.
Guys, I want to know.
Thank God for that.
Georgie, you go off and call Mark. Guys, comments and Tom and Matthew, I want to know what you think about this Lukaku move. It is now official. Inter Milan have confirmed that Romelu Lukaku is their new striker. Matthew, Tom, give me your opinion.
Matthew, I've had a big say on it. Matthew, what have you got?
You know what, right? Lukaku's a bloody good goal scorer. Getting 100 Premier League goals by the age of 24, you can't fault that achievement. But my God, his attitude is absolutely awful. It's pretty much the same as Carlos Tevez in terms of how he's just completely disrespected the club. Like, it's obviously he wanted to go. Posting that data about his speed and stuff to prove that he's not slow. It's like that time, see, when you're in class or whatever, and the teacher says, right, who knows this answer? And then you put your hand up, you're so confident, you're like, I know the answer, and then you shout out the answer, and it's wrong. That's what Lukaku's effectively done. He's just completely screwed himself over.
It burnt the bridge for
you
me.
know what? Yeah, exactly. Like, it wasn't even just that, it was the whole Anderlecht training thing. Apparently the first day, the club allowed it because there was, days off for the players, but the second day he actually stayed there.
Yeah.
Without the club's permission, and he was fined as a result of that. So, yeah, he's just left on such bad terms. As much as I criticise,
So what I will say is, Marcus touched on this earlier, but I've just seen a comment here from Chris McTeague, I think. Glazers must be so happy to make more money. Unfortunately, that money will go into their pockets and not invested into the team. And I think Chris is right there, because what Mark was touching on earlier was a swap with Dybala or some sort of, even Mandzukic to an extent, benefited us as a football club, as a football team. Whereas the sale of Romelu Lukaku for 73 million plus add-ons suits the Glazers' pockets and bank balance. And I, based on the Glazers' history, track record, I'm not confident in the Glazers of reinvesting that money. And that is the only real downside, I think, to this transfer.
Yeah, I agree. But then it falls on them now to go out and reinvest that money. Obviously, they can't do it. It's too late now. But obviously, I don't class January as a transfer window. It's just too late. 4 weeks. It's not a big enough time for them to do it, because they haven't got the right people involved. They need a director of football. And I said last night, that is the biggest thing that's gone wrong here, is that there's actually no one pushing these deals. Ollie can scream and shout at Ed Woodward, but he doesn't have to listen to him. But there's somebody else there in between, somebody saying, look, Ed, this has got to happen. It's got to happen. But he hasn't got that.
It's very, very, very true. We've got a super chat here from Paul McKeown. Thank you very much for your contribution, pal. He says, Tony Marshall, number 9, back, please. What are we thinking about that? Because obviously, Tony Marshall, first season at the club, number 9, was scoring goals for fun. We all thought we've got an absolute talent on our hands. Since then, got given the number 11 shirt. The number 9 was ripped off him, given to Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku's now gone. Do we give that number 9 back to Martial?
Who takes number 11 then? There's a question.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. But I think Martial does go back to the 9. It gets announced. What day is it? Is it? What day is it?
Sir,
it's Thursday.
thanks for everyone. That's why I'm here.
They get announced tomorrow. Squad numbers announced tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think AM9 #AM9 that'll be trending this year.
Nigel Dawkins says Bruno at Carrington. Bruno Fernandes. I think we can all categorically say Bruno Fernandes is not at Carrington. Unfortunately, Nigel, don't expect many more incomings for the rest of the transfer window. It's looking like the team that we've got now is the team that we're going to go into the Premier League season with, and make of that what you will. I'm not too happy about it, but there you go.
Yep.
Do you think the replacements? So this is from Omar Marquez. Guys, get your comments in, because we love to know what you guys think.
Right, Omar guys. Sorry, very quickly. Mark Goldbridge will be joining us in a second, so get hyped for that. He will be giving his view on Romelu Lukaku. So, guys, just carry on with what you were saying. That's all good.
I'm just reading out a comment here from Omar, who said, "Do you think the replacements for Fellaini, Herrera, and Lukaku were Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, and James? Unfortunately, that's what it looks like, guys. What do you reckon?"
It's not. It's that they failed to replace them. That's all it is. They failed to replace them, and they've strengthened in places they need to do, but they haven't done it throughout.
We've got Mark on the line at the moment. Mark, how you doing?
I'm good. I've just been told about Lukaku, so I'm just going to drop on for a few minutes as we approach the last 1 hour and 8 minutes. We've just been on.
What's the initial thoughts, Stu, Matt, when you see that 73?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's a good deal, but the problem with it is, are we stronger or weaker without him? Like, I thought getting rid of Lukaku was a good idea if we were going to have the rebuild we thought we were going to have. We haven't had that. So, to me, it's just money into the Glazers' pocket.
Exactly, Mark. That's exactly what we were saying earlier. You mentioned before that some sort of swap deal with a player would benefit us on the pitch. This deal now, with 73 million plus add-ons, benefits the Glazers' bank balance, and it doesn't benefit us as a football team. So I think you're spot on there, pal.
100%, and I think that we're not going to replace him. And even if we'd replaced him with Mandzukic, I said this last night, Mandzukic is 33 and he'd cost about 15 million. Lukaku's 25, 26 and he costs 72. It's the sort of move that Stoke used to do. Sell your good player and then get a cheap crap replacement in and then pocket £50 million for your owners. So, look, I want Lukaku to go. Definitely want him to go. But he was going as part of a rebuild to make us better. We've not done the rebuild. So the moving Lukaku one's almost irrelevant because we've not done the rebuild.
No.
It's all a big lie. There is no rebuild.
I saw on Twitter as well, people, sorry to cut you off there, but I saw on Twitter as well, in regards to Mandzukic, people were saying, if Lukaku's getting sold because he doesn't fit into Ole's system, only for Ole then to bring in a 33-year-old Mandzukic, you've got to ask questions. So, and I think that is a very, very valid point. I don't think Mandzukic was the right deal either. Mark, do you think going into this season with the strike force that we do, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford and the rest, do you think that's a strong enough attack?
I think there's big questions over it. I think Greenwood's allowed to be inconsistent because he's 17, 18. Rashford and Martial are inconsistent. They need to have big seasons. But to me, if we weren't called Manchester United, I'd think we were Bournemouth. It feels like we are having to sell to buy. It feels like we are moving players on and then, hoping that potential will find consistency, which is absolutely fine if your aspirations are to finish 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. But if you're a club of Manchester United stature, if you are the equivalent of Juventus in Italy, Real Madrid and Barcelona in Spain, Bayern Munich in Germany, because that's what United are, every season at the start of it, you should be going into it thinking we've got a chance of winning the league. And that's what these owners have done. They've lowered expectations so much that we basically are Manchester United by name and nothing else.
Yeah.
You mentioned Rashford and Martial have to have big seasons this season, and I'd agree with that. In the past we've sort of gone on about their potential and they've shown flashes of brilliance, but this season, do you think they will?
I like Martial and Rashford. They're two of my favourite players, but there's a big question. I mean, Alexis Sanchez is going to have to do something as well. But look, I think Rashford and Martial have to have good seasons, and I think they will do.
They've got their work cut out though, Mark, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. The big thing here is, and I'm sure everyone's thinking the same, is we're asking about that midfield, but will they get the opportunities? We spoke last year about how Harry Kane averages 5 or 6 chances a game, whereas Lukaku was getting 2 or 3. Look, whatever you think about Lukaku, he's right, but if you create lots of chances, there's more chances of people like Martial scoring a lot of goals. People get lost in this, Martial had a bad game, but they don't look at how many times he got the ball or how many chances he actually had. It's very easy to say a forward had a bad game, but it might be more simple that the fact that they had a bad game because they're not getting the service. And we go back to the big issue, and that's the midfield. The midfield, to me, apart from Pogba, doesn't have the consistent creator in there, and that's going to be the problem.
Yeah. If you're anybody interested, actually, Lukaku's released a article called "I've Got Some Things to Say" by Lukaku on the Players Tribune. I've had a scan through. It's not major, nothing about United really. So if you're interested to read what he has to say, there's something there. Simon Stones just tweeted out something quite good. He said, Inter have confirmed Romelu Lukaku as a player. I wonder how long he will be fit. I wonder how long it will be until he's fit to play.
I'm just gonna go and pop off and check into my hotel, but I will check back in with you in about 10 minutes if that's all right.
Fine,
Right,
cheers for it.
Guys, I've got breaking news, kind of. Well, not really, but I've just basically seen a photo retweeted by Sports Witness on Twitter of Ryan Sessegnon holding up a Spurs shirt, doing his media stuff. So, guys, Ryan Sessegnon, someone who Draughty's been on about for years.
Oh, no.
Do you know what? I would have gone for Sessegnon. I would have gone for Sessegnon if they wouldn't have got Wan-Bissaka. That's who before we heard about Wan-Bissaka, Sessegnon was the player that I thought United were going to get.
Very quickly, we're just going to have a quote from, it's a very, very short quote from Romelu Lukaku, who's released a video on Inter Milan's official Twitter that says, Inter is not for everyone, and that's why I'm here. What do we make of that?
You're not for everyone, Lukaku, pal. Jesus.
Right, nail on the head, I think. I don't think you need to say any more. Nail on the...
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
I think he's sort of taken up that bad guy role recently. He's sort of trying to be that sort of rebel who's, I'm going to release the data and sort of screw everyone. Oh, mate, what are you doing? Concentrate on your stuff on the pitch. You've got a touch of a donkey, and don't why are you trying to wind everyone up? Do you know what I mean?
I think that, like I said to you, that was him. Sorry, Jory. That was him forcing the move, and as he knew that it probably would happen. That's him making sure. That was him 100% putting the nail in the coffin, saying, right, my time at Old Trafford is now done because of me.
Well, I mean, the one thing is, obviously, Romelu's just said Inter is not for everyone, and that's why I'm here. Well, his first touch isn't for everyone, so we're not going to miss that, are we?
It's for the fans in Row Z. That's who it's for.
And should we be honest here?
Yeah, go. Be as honest. Be as honest and frank as you want.
For Lukaku, Inter for Lukaku, right? He's only saying that because Juve didn't go for him. We all know that he would have preferred Juventus over Inter Milan.
Absolutely.
That's a load of rubbish. You can't tell me that that's why I chose Inter. No, that was your only chance because Juventus said Juventus couldn't get a deal done with United. Simple as that.
I don't want to, guys, get your tissues ready, and not in that way, guys. I don't want to disappoint you too much, but I've got to jump off. I've got to head up to the United Stand celebration. So it's been an absolute pleasure being with you all. Sorry, I was a bit raw today. It's my first stream back, so I have really appreciated your company and everyone in the comments too.
Sander, thank you very much at short notice for coming on. It was massively appreciated. And guys, Sander is on Twitter. Sander, do you want to give out your social media?
My Twitter is Sander with a capital S _Seegers7. I tweet nonsense like I speak nonsense, basically. But join me if you like me. So
Sander will
appreciate you all.
Look, Sander, it's been great having you on. Hopefully you will be on more in the future, as per our conversation last night. So we'll see how that develops.
I thought I ruined it at one point, midstream.
Go on, mate. I'm not like that. I just have to, basically keep things in check sometimes. But other than that, thank you very much. So have a good one, Sander, and enjoy. And to be honest with you, guys, it is the United Stand 500,000 subscriber party tonight. Sander will be there along with Flex, along with Goldbridge, Rants. There will be a couple of surprises. I'm just waiting for a guest caller to call in within the next hour. I don't know if they'll be able to. So other than that, cheers, Sander.
Right. Cheers,
Sander, before you go, top 4, yes or no?
I think Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool and City have way too much for us to get top 4. I think we're going to be outside with Chelsea.
Fair enough. Cheers, mate. Have a great one.
Cheers, Sander.
Appreciate you. Speak to you soon. Ciao.
Bye. Right, so that's down to me. Andrew, are you there now?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, so we've got Andrew for the last portion of this show. You don't mind staying with us, do you, Andrew?
Absolutely not. I'm here till the end, man.
Awesome. So we've got just under 13,000 people watching. Many of you might be new to the channel. Welcome. This is Manchester United's biggest fan channel. I'm going to keep milking that. It's funny. Although I've never been big-headed, so it feels weird saying that. And I'm pretty sure Mark will say something later. But please subscribe if you are new. Please share and like the video. We've been on there for the last 2.5 hours now. And amazingly, many of you have stuck with us. So thank you for that. As you may have seen, breaking news, Romelu Lukaku is officially an Inter Milan player. He is signed for how much, Tom?
73 million. With around 10 million in add-ons, and don't forget the 5% salon clause. That is fantastic. That
is wow. Really, we got
5% in a salon clause. Like, where's he going to go after Inter Milan for any worth? For putting that in there. But there you go. That's what you get.
Well, here's the thing, guys. If he's gone for 83, because obviously Sky like to add the add-ons with it. So that makes it 83. That brings down United spending to around about 70 million. Someone's just said get Pankaj on. Okay, we're going to bring in Pankaj. Is he in there? We're just going to move you around, Pankaj. You're probably going to get a little bit confused. Pankaj, welcome. We finally got you on the show at last.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you might have to mute me though, because we've got an echo.
Okay.
So
I gotta mute you.
So yeah, you have to mute YouTube.
Okay, yeah, it's muted.
Okay. So, there's no echo now, which is great. So, Pankaj, there is an echo. Yeah, I don't know what you got it on, mate. You got it a bit too loud. Don't know if you can hear it, Tom.
No, I'm getting it through when you speak.
Yeah. So, Pankaj, maybe sort out your levels first.
Yeah.
Then we'll grab you in.
Is it okay now? Or?
Nope.
Is it okay? Is it okay?
No, I'm going to drop you out while you do the levels, mate. So just pop you out there. Okay, guys, we are opening up Discord now. We're into the last hour of the transfer window. We're going to be rifling through you guys. The link is in the video description below to join our Discord server. We have calling Q1. Guys, you stay in this one. I'm just going to jump into calling Q1, see what happens. So Andrew and Tom, you won't be able to hear anything for a second. You're right, everyone. You're live on the United stand. So okay. Oh, that's bad. Okay.
Lukaku to work out so bad. I actually was on the United stand not
Andrew.
that long ago.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Drawdy.
Right, we're going to bring in a few people now. So Faint, we're going to bring you in. Faint, welcome to the United stand.
Hello, Jordy. Thank you.
That's great. So, how are you feeling about Manchester United's transfer window?
It's been mediocre, I'd say. It's not the worst, but we needed at least 2 more signings. You know, Bruno Fernandes, and I'd say CDM. It's not realistic, but there's people like Hakim Ziyech, underrated, 25 million. He's a right winger. Could have gone for him.
Yep, and that's a release clause as well. He's got a release clause.
Yeah, but Glazers just don't want to spend the money, which is really annoying. We've made some good signings. Wan-Bissaka, he's done really well, but we needed to get Bruno in.
So,
yeah,
do you feel like Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are good enough to justify this window?
I think they're great signings. They're definitely going to make the defence more compact, but I don't think they complement it that well. I mean, we needed way more to get up front, especially with Fernandes. He would have added so much more with the creativity and goals. You know, he's scored something like 40 for Lisbon, which is crazy. So we really needed that. And if Pogba was to go, then what would we do?
And very, very quickly, because we're going to try and rifle through people now, Romelu Lukaku, officially an Inter Milan player. Good news? Is that a good one for United?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, we've offloaded him, so no more Sainsbury's car park touch. But yeah, pretty happy. And 83 million is not a bad deal. So I think we've got a good one there. And it's a bit sad that we've not replaced him, but hopefully Martial and Rashford get 20 goals a season.
Well, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you too.
And
just on the Lukaku deal, sorry, Jorty.
Yeah.
Simon Stones just tweeted, Lukaku deal to 2024, says Inter were the only club I wanted to join. Antonio Conte has got his #1 target. Again, I don't believe that. That's rubbish.
Oh, come off it.
There's no way that's the only club he wanted to join.
No, absolutely not. That can't be true. So
No.
Right, so thank you very much for coming on, Faint.
Thank you too, Jorty.
And hopefully Mike will get you on again soon. So, right.
Bye. Have a good day, everyone.
You too. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Faint. Have a good day, mate.
Right.
So,
Matthew.
I can really quick.
Matthew, are you there?
I'm there.
Oh, there you are.
Time no see.
There we go.
Finally, Mr. Forehead himself, as he calls himself.
Mr. Forehead himself. What do you think of the forehead then, as we're on the forehead subject? What do you think about Harry Maguire? Do you think he'll prove a point next season?
That boy is my spirit animal. I absolutely love him. I've said it so many times on Twitter. He's one of the top 5 centre-backs in the league, and I get pelters for it, but you know what? I do not care whatsoever. He's going to prove it this season. Like, he's just exactly what we need.
Well, he's
so many
definitely
people talking about.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, there's so many people talking about, various centre-backs here and there, but it's not just the case of we need a centre-back. We need the right centre-back. Like, people are recommending guys like Nathan Ake or whatever, but they're just too similar to Lindelof, and they're proper ball-playing centre-backs.
Ake would have been 70 million. Would you have seen
which
that?
is absolutely
like
ridiculous.
that? No, I wouldn't be happy with that. But the thing is for me with Harry Maguire, right? He's now got a point to prove because we haven't strengthened in front of him, and United haven't strengthened anywhere else, bar the defence, and with the exception of Daniel James. I think Harry Maguire's got it all to prove now, and this year he will, because United haven't improved. We know the midfield's terrible outside of Pogba, and even with Pogba in some days. So week in, week out, if he is becoming under the cosh and he can show that he put up with it, I think you're right that he will be showing that he is a top 5 centre-back.
To be honest, I'm not going to go as far as to say as I've got no doubts. but I'm pretty certain he's going to do that. Like, I don't get why people are absolutely slating the guy. Like, people say not. Okay, you can kind of understand still, but saying 80 million is a bit much.
I think.
I
think he's under scrutiny because of who he's joined. If he would have joined Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, nobody.
If he joined Man City for that.
Yeah, exactly. Who would have said anything?
Everyone would be saying, "What a signing by Pep!" That is
and that says a lot because Pep wanted him. So
Yeah. No.
Right, we're going to quickly take some super chats now because once again they are piling up and I need to go through them. So thank you very much if you have sent a super chat in. It is very much appreciated. Dan Parker says, stop the negative, give Ollie time. I think all of us here are going to give Ollie time, so it's probably in the live comments. Alec Thomas says, would Bruno or another midfielder have been nice? Yes, but Ollie has always said he would turn to youth. Top class of academy graduates coming through. Angel Gomez is a top class midfielder. Obviously, we've got James Garner as well, and McTominay has come from the academy, so perhaps that's the way he's going to go this summer. JT Aguilar, how do you feel about Thomas Partey? A missed opportunity, JT. That's one that we probably should have had. I think was his buyout clause 43 million, Tom?
Sorry, Dorothy, I was just reading what you say. Sorry.
Thomas Partey, was his buyout clause 43 million? I think it's something around that.
I think it's around that mark. I think so. It's near there. I was just reading something about Paul Pogba. Sorry, it says I haven't read the full article yet, but Thomas Ronchero, his name. He is a writer for AS, what we like to call on the United stand BS. He said nothing can be done. Pogba will not come to Madrid. It's sad and frustrated. Well, my little violin's playing for you because he was never going anywhere anyway. So that's another thing. But Thomas Partey, I believe.
Oh, it's got Mark Goldbridge. Sorry, Mark Goldbridge is back in the building, everyone. Mark is back in the house, and not a moment too soon. So, Mark.
Tell you what, I've just checked into my hotel room. I've just watched the Manchester United update on Sky Sports, and I'm stood in my boxer shorts. So it's brilliant. I'm a voice caller because I'm just about to go and have a quick shower. But I thought I'd check in this last hour.
So, Mark, obviously Romelu Lukaku has officially gone. It's 73 million plus 10%. Oh, sorry, 10 million plus. Is it 5% sell-on fee, Tom?
United have got a 5% sell-on clause for some reason, but yeah.
So are we?
So about 5p then?
5p.
Yeah, basically. By the time he leaves, I mean, it's still 2024. Where's he realistically going to go after that?
Yeah, I just think that the big thing for me was that listening to James Cooper there outside, actually in Old Trafford, the line that's coming from United, and I had this at the start of the week from somebody close to United, is that they're putting out this positivity about the business they've done at the back and the young players they've got coming through. And I've not heard this for a long time. The last time I heard it was 95 when the class of 92 came through, and that might get people excited, but that team. Well, for one, the youngsters were world class, and also the team had world class players in it like Cantona, Schmeichel, Irwin, Roy Keane, Pallister, Bruce. There was a lot of good players in that team. So I just think we're being sold down the river here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I just don't know where it's going to go. I think it's really sad. I think I don't want to go into the season negative, but I actually don't feel guilty for it because it's what the club have inflicted on us. You don't need a weatherman to tell you it's pissing it down, and that what we're about to face is not going to be pretty. I think we'll start the season well, but over a long 38-game season, this is where people like McTominay, Gomez, Greenwood, Herrera, Rashford, Martial, their inconsistencies, because they're not the finished article yet, will show. You're basically asking young players to put in performances week in, week out that you would expect of established stars, and that is where United are selling the fans down the river, because everyone's like, yeah, but we've got all these young players. Young players need time to develop. That's what they need, and they haven't got any time. And it's the same with Solskjaer.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So, Mark, obviously it's disappointing from a midfield point of view, but do you not feel that Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka defensively are very astute signings?
100%. I think I'm old enough to remember the Arsenal team of George Graham in the early 90s, where they used to win 1-0. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to win the title by winning every game 1-0 and stopping the opposition scoring and just boring them to death over 90 minutes. Because defensively,
title winning teams win ugly.
Yeah, and we've got I think we've, you can't say we've got the best defence in the league because that's not right. That's not right. But I did say we've got potentially one of the best back fives in Europe, and I think we have. De Gea is one of the best goalies in the world. Maguire's England's best centre-back. Barcelona wanted Lindelof. Luke Shaw was Player of the Year, and Wan-Bissaka, to me, will be one of the best right-backs in the world. So we have got a very strong back five. If it gels, it's got to gel. Let's not pretend it's it's not fantasy football. They've got to gel. But it's what's in front of them that terrifies me.
Yeah.
Do you feel now that Lukaku has gone, do we have enough attacking options up front?
I think Sanchez, we almost, and this is hard for me to say this, but with Alexis Sanchez, he is the biggest flop we've ever bought. But I think we need to lay off him because he's important and hope that he can produce something because he's going to be here. We haven't got a lot of options. And if there is any opportunity that he can get back, we should encourage it. But, I worry. I like Gomez. We shouldn't have kept Mata, but I think we all know why we kept Juan Mata now, don't we? Because we didn't have enough money to spend. That's what it was all about, and that's why we've still got so much deadwood at this club. That's why Phil Jones and Smalling and Young and everybody else gets a contract because they had no intention of spending any more than 100 million this summer.
Well, I mean, Tom said earlier about the Lukaku fee. It's looking now, Mark, like the expenditure for the club, minus Rojo, because we don't even know if Rojo's going to leave the club yet, but it's looking round about 70 to 75 million pounds, which is pretty much comparable to last summer. Is that good enough?
Well, it's actually over 4 transfer windows. We spent 150 million, which averages at about 40 million, just under 40 million. That's, we've been outspent in the last 2 transfer windows by Everton. It's that, there is not a United fan out there that can justify the spend of the last 2 summers. And if they do, then they're on the payroll of Glazers because you cannot justify that. Manchester United are one of the richest clubs in the world with the biggest revenue streams, and they're not spending money. You don't have to spend money if you're successful, but we all know that club needed. We basically, at the end of last season, people forget this, we lost to Cardiff and everybody said, sell the lot of them. And we all said, we can't sell the whole team, it's not FIFA, but we need to sell 4 and bring 4 in as a start. We haven't done that. And why haven't we done that? Because the people at the top don't want to spend money.
I totally agree. I think that's why Fernandes. That's why I think, well, not Diabala, because that was more like contract issues, but I think that's the biggest reason why Fernandes didn't happen, because United didn't want to spend money. They bought in Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, and that's good enough. That'll keep everybody quiet, and it hasn't. It's made it worse. And people, this is what I mean. You can say it's been a terrible transfer window because we haven't signed a centre midfielder, we haven't signed a CDM, we haven't signed a striker, we haven't signed a winger. But what we have signed is a strengthened back four. Not back four, but you know what I mean. We've strengthened the defence, so it counterbalances itself. But when you look at it and take a step back, you have to say it is more so disappointing because there is areas that needed improving that just have been neglected. I think that's what the best thing would be called it, neglected.
Oh yeah, no, it's a Tom. To your point, I mean, you look at the fact. I mean, both you and I kind of said that we think that the window is potentially a 6, and
yeah.
At the end of the day, though, this window should have been still so much better.
Of course, it should have been a 9 or a 10, not an 8 or a 9. We can't go 10 because no window's perfect because you can always improve a team. But I think it should have been up there, and if you'd added a couple of more names in, and then it would have been there. But I say 6, like I said, because it balanced itself out. Yes, we haven't bought the players that we do need now, but we bought a couple of players that we did need, and we have got them. So for me, I think it's not been a great success. It's probably been a level playing field, but it's quite evident that there is more needed on top of what we've done now, and January won't be the case. So I think we're stuck with this team for another year, and hopefully this time next year we won't be having the same conversation. But based on the last few years, you'd have to say we'll be having the same conversation.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is that, I look at what this window could have been, because at the end of the day, the fact that we have not replaced Ander Herrera or Marouane Fellaini, who Marouane Fellaini was sold in January. The fact that we have not replaced either one of those players is absolutely inexcusable. When Mark talked about, when the fact that we've been scouting somebody like Bruno Fernandes for that long, the fact that there is still like a Christian Eriksen out there that wants to move, like you cannot find an excuse like that besides the fact that the Glazers want to pocket the money, and maybe we can remain hopeful that they're about to sell the club and they're trying to keep budgets tight. But at the end of the day, it's inexcusable that we did not bring in at least one midfielder in this summer. That is absolutely ridiculous.
I think at the moment, I mean, how long have we got left, guys? 40 minutes. Just 40 minutes until the transfer deadline closes. Obviously, Manchester United have just sold Romelu Lukaku. We're not getting a replacement for him. And it's looking like we're not getting any midfielders in. There was a few jokes of Victor Wanyama potentially joining Manchester United before the end of the transfer window. But right now, as it stands, guys, it's looking like that's it. That's it. That's our lot. We've rebuilt the defence. But other than that...
we are getting, team.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of ex-United players talking. Dimitar Berbatov's just done an interview with the Manchester Evening News.
Okay, what's he said?
Just a couple of quick extracts. He said, I thought United needed one more signing, especially after Romelu Lukaku left for Inter Milan. But teams should never panic buy and should only ever buy players they have been targeting. Well, they have been and they haven't. And he says here, I understand why he wants human beings, and it's no fun to finish a game and read on social media or press that you suck. So basically, he's saying, Burbs has said that he doesn't blame Lukaku for leaving, and he feels that Lukaku was unfairly treated by the media and the Manchester United fans.
In terms of Lukaku's treatment, I think a lot of footballers get some very unfair treatment. At the end of the day, they're still people, but they are paid a hell of a lot of money, like stupid amounts of money.
Yep.
And many of us will never see that kind of money in our lifetime. So to a degree, the human element, when you're paid that amount, their lives are completely different to anyone else. So they need to accept the pressure, and people are going to give them criticism. You know, there are pundits on TV who are paid a lot of money just to talk about football. And if Pogba's saying he's feeling aggrieved because of the fans and the pundits and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately, you probably weren't cut out for Manchester United, because it's the biggest club in the world. And with playing for Manchester United, a bit like Real Madrid, Real Madrid's fans are even... Well, okay, United and Real Madrid fans are nothing alike, but Real Madrid fans will vocally say on the pitch if they're unhappy with a player. United fans will always be behind their player, but unfortunately, when it comes to social media, the fans are unhappy at the moment. And Lukaku's performances last season, for someone who was supposed to be our talisman, they just weren't good enough for this club. And I think when you've paid a lot of money, he was, 80 million at the time, was it?
I think it was
75.
So we've basically made our money back, which I guess is impressive considering how
bad he's been.
Well,
let's be honest.
He still scored goals. I mean, he did, he played well against PSG, but at the end of the day, Romelu Lukaku should have been more than what he was, and I just don't think in this system he works. Now, he's obviously come out.
And you're not going to be remembered by scoring one big goal in a game. You're not going to be remembered by that. You're going to be remembered by leaving an effect on the club. And I think Romelu Lukaku will now be remembered at Manchester United as what he's been like the last few weeks, which for me is kind of sad. But I think it's probably it was time to cut all ties with him. And I think that's what's happened here.
Do you know what? I'm going to try and get some more people in here. So we're going to try. We're just going to move a Dark Comic. You're live on the United stand. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Where are you from? Canada or America?
I'm from America.
Okay, I like to say Canada first. It's a bit like the whole Australia-New Zealand thing. If you say to an Australian, are you from New Zealand, they're okay. You ask a New Zealander if they're from Australia, they get very, very angry. So
yeah, I've heard about that.
So Manchester United, obviously transfer window closing in 37 minutes. How are we feeling right now?
Pretty stressed out, to be honest with you, because I feel like the way we are right now, we're not looking for anything good.
Well, in terms of a rebuild, would you class what's happened this summer as a rebuild, or is this more just a small start?
Definitely not.
Okay,
maybe a start of one, maybe, but definitely not the finished article.
Just to break in, Manchester United,
I've got it as well.
Have confirmed that Lukaku has left for Italy for Inter Milan. That's just broke just now.
Okay, there is breaking news. It is official, guys. Romelu Lukaku has left Manchester United for Inter Milan. I'm just going to get the quote here. He did put out a video on Inter Milan's official Twitter that says, "Inter is not for everyone, and that's why I'm here." Guys,
I hope to bring the Nazira back to the top. Well, I don't think he...
Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you... we're going to go back to Dark Comic. So,
yeah.
Romelu Lukaku, are you happy about him leaving Manchester United right now?
Deadline day with no replacement, definitely not. I think he definitely was someone we needed to move out, but I think the timing on it was really poor.
Who would you have liked to have brought in instead of Romelu Lukaku? Because obviously there was talk of Icardi possibly being in a swap deal, then there was Dybala coming in as an attacking midfielder. At the moment, we are pretty much going into the season with Greenwood, Rashford and Martial as our attacking players. So who would you have liked to see come in?
Well, okay, so the beginning of the summer, I really wanted Icardi. I've wanted him since probably 2 summers ago, but it seemed like that wasn't going to happen. And I think after him, I really don't see too many other options for us, because there's people like Werner and stuff like that, but I don't see how possible those deals are for us.
So we're going to wrap up here for your call, and thank you very much for calling in, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
no
how would you rate Manchester United's transfer window out of 10?
Well, we needed a right back. Daniel James is kind of a luxury because we don't know, what he's going to be for us. But I think probably 5 out of 10 because it wasn't bad, but it's nothing to remember. We're not going to think 3 years later, this is the summer that made our title-winning season,
I think it is though, because I think it started. I think
the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation.
Well, that's
probably true. Sorry, you carry on.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say one more thing. I think that I had a question for you guys actually. Say that we don't make any more signings.
Yeah.
And we know
it's not going to happen now.
We're not going to. Well, right. But we're gonna go into the season knowing that we're not going to win anything. Would you be willing to maybe not sacrifice the season, but play youth in any game possible just for the sake of development?
I think it's going to come to a point where he's got no choice.
I think you have to. Yeah. No, carry on, mate.
He's gonna have no choice, is he? Because look, Paul Pogba goes down. There comes in another young man. Martial, Rashford. They are young, but they go down. The other young guys come in. Harry Maguire. God forbid it happens, but if Lindelof and Maguire get a problem, Tuanzebe comes in. Then there's another young man. So I think we're going to see a lot of the youth, especially with Mason Greenwood. I think now Lukaku's gone, he is licking his lips at the chance of getting some first team football, and I'm seeing that.
And that excites me.
Yeah, that excites me.
Because looking at the highlights of Greenwood, he's an insanely motivated player. You can tell that he has great ambition for his career. And so I hope he's able to be some sort of a Rooney-esque to where he can just put in so many goals every season.
That would be the dream, wouldn't it? That would be the dream.
It really would be.
And on that very positive note, I'm going to say thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you so much for picking me up.
Awesome. And great call. As usual, the standard of the guys calling in is it's always damn good, isn't it? So Mark Goldbridge has built up a pretty impressive...
This is my first time on.
Is it?
Yeah, it actually is.
Well,
I'm from Kansas, so I'm in the Midwest of the U.S. So normally, whenever Mark's streaming, I'm just waking up in the morning.
I was going to say it's still early.
Yeah, it's like 10:30.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Because honestly, everyone who calls in has something to add. So we'll try and get you on again sometime when Mark's on.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Right, guys, so there are 11,000 of you watching now. We have 528,874 subscribers. We're not far away from 529,000 subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you don't know how to do that, there is a subscribe button at the bottom right of the video. Also like the video. We've got 3.8k likes. It'd be lovely to get 5,000 likes if we could, which is just less than half watching. And again, you guys have been fantastic. Right, we've got a couple of super chats I need to get back into. So, Paul McKeown, Tony Martial 9 back, please. I think it would be nice if Tony got his number 9 back. Avishek Chatterjee says, you know what's worst thing that can happen? Pogba leaving after this for around 130 million. Few defenders for 30 million. We might have a net spend of minus 100 million. I think you mean profit of 100 million, but I see what your point is. Anoop Ayapan says, Mark Discord me, Anoop, and then his Discord number. Johnny B. Goodwin says, take off money made for Fellaini, Lukaku and Rojo, 30 million net. It is ridiculous. Dybala and Bruno could have been done. Midfield is an absolute joke. Pretty passionate from Johnny there. Christian Medina, they bottled it. Hashtag Glazers out. Pumpkin Spice Latte says, I love that name, Pumpkin Spice Latte. Can you get that? I'd like that.
One of them?
How basic can you be?
I would like one of those Pumpkin Spice Lattes. That is brilliant. Those substitutes look horrendous. Imagine a couple of starting players getting injured. Philip Crostet says, with squad playing as it is, who do you think will be our top 5 goal scorers? And can you see Maguire in top 5? What, top 5 goal scorers for Harry Maguire? That'd be impressive.
I'll tell you what, that's going to recreate that Steve Bruce season. 19 goals. Get ahead of here fast. Every single one of them from corners.
The thing is, imagine the meltdown that would follow that actually happen.
Considering the fact
that when Harry Maguire scores his first goal, Twitter's going to go nuts.
Well, I was considering the fact his head takes up like 90% of the pitch.
Exactly.
I mean, it's bound to happen. Get 19 goals.
No, we'll still hit the first man.
Oh, honestly, I love Harry Maguire. Slabhead is literally a dream come true for. Well, he's just going to be commanding at the back, and that's exactly what we need. Another couple of super chats then. Christopher Delargy says, Glazers out, they have stolen the club money again. Thank you for that one. Theshen Kiston says, finally Lukaku gone. Martial can get the number 9 jersey and give us those 20 to 25 goals this season. I tell you what, if Martial plays through the middle like he did in the first season when he got a few opportunities versus Liverpool and Southampton, we might see a different Martial this season, so hopefully that's true. Harry Fernando Paz says,
who would you rather play down the middle, Martial or Rashford?
Harry Maguire.
The other player goes out in the wing.
Harry Maguire.
That's fair enough.
Just the absolute size of his forehead
target, man.
coming through and smashing that ball through the sound barrier would.
It would just be like a steam train hitting a ball.
Oh, it would just be. Yeah, it would be amazing. Harry Fernando. I'm still going with the super chats, so we've got
just
so many.
It looks like Axel Twanzebe won't be leaving. He'll be staying at the club as well. So that's
fantastic.
That's a positive.
That is fantastic. So I will get that ready in a moment. I'm just going to go over to some super chats. And we've got Harry Fernando Paz. It's bad, but only for this season. Small steps to rebuild. Can't expect much from this season, but at least we are building a youthful team to mould. I think that's a very positive way of looking at it, and I think that's sort of the way that all of us need to kind of be thinking. Is the defence is now sorted, so hopefully we can build from the back. Rio Mia says, why does everyone seem calm? Oh my god, show some passion. We had Sandra on earlier. We had to calm his passion down. Unfortunately, too many people died, so we had to calm him out. So if you want passion, we'll get Sandra on, but
don't worry, wait till 5. Mark's around. Yeah. Here he is. Oh, here he is now.
Oh my god, it's Mark Goldbridge, and he's back in the call. How are you, Mark?
Just on cue, Mark. Fire, apparently.
So fire.
Yeah, we need some passion. So passion on the next 30 minutes. Are we going to sign anybody? No. How does that make you feel?
Look, I've just had a nice shower, and it just it hasn't cleansed me from the frustration and despair. I just saw an advert actually on Sky with Martin Tyler going, a new season, belief is back. And I was like, man, what am I supposed to believe in then? Seriously, I've never had a season like this. I've said it before. I've never had a season like this where I'm going into it logically knowing we can't finish any higher than 4th. 4th is our Fourth is our heaven. Fourth is our ceiling. We just don't. I mean, look, if Paul Pogba gets injured, Paul Pogba misses a month every season with a hamstring. Like, if Paul Pogba gets injured, you're relying on Matic, Fred, McTominay, and Pereira. Read that back. You know, that is not a midfield that's better than Bournemouth. It's a bad midfield. And I like some of those players, and I hope they step up to the plate. But it's not a Manchester United midfield. I've never known a midfield so poor. Like, Paul Pogba is, you know, whatever
He's
people
everything
think about
now.
it.
His value to the team is just tripled, hasn't it? More now.
But you know what, Tom? What annoys me about that is that we last season Pogba got a lot of stick, justified, but he got really good stats. And defenders of Pogba will say, "You put good players around Paul Pogba, and he'll be more consistent." We've actually took the most consistent player out of the club, let him walk away for nothing, and not added to that. I mean, I just don't understand how Paul Pogba would ever want to stay at this football club, because he probably looks at it and goes, "Hold on a minute, Real Madrid want me, and I can go and play for a team in the Champions League that wins titles. But you want me to stay here, but you've made absolutely no effort to bring in players around me to make me want to stay. In fact, you've took away a player that was a really helpful in the midfield." So I just don't get what's gone on at United. I've heard somebody saying that United wanted to do more business, but they couldn't. We all know why we couldn't, because we don't want to. Either the money's not there, or we don't want to spend it.
I think it's, of course, if they don't want to spend it. Let's be honest. Like we said before, Fernandes was there for the taking. Thomas Partey, he's got a release clause that he was for the taking. Even Ziyech, he's got a release clause. Players are there for the taking, but the club have just not gone and got that. They haven't got it any done. And the thing that annoys me as well, you talk about the midfield. You look at the forwards. Our three forwards now that are recognised: Sanchez, Rashford, Martial. If one of them goes down, or more than likely they don't find form, where does that leave us going forward?
The squad is ridiculously weak. We've got loads of centre backs. We've got a couple of right backs. We haven't really got backup for Luke Shaw. It's Ashley Young. The midfield is weak, and that's without injuries. And then the attack, like you say, everyone says Gomez, Chong, and Greenwood. Will it be them though, or will it be Mata and Lingard? So
that's what worries me.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm starting to err on the side of what somebody said to me a long time ago, that Ollie will be gone by Christmas, but I'm going to keep it back for my sort of rant I do a little bit later on. But
you never know, we could sign someone in the last 25 minutes, Mark.
We could, yeah, and a pig just could fly past this window, but I just, I'm absolutely.
I nearly said something then, I had to keep my.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that off air.
I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned at this transfer window. And what I would say is, obviously, United stand's not going anywhere, but I will never go into a transfer window again believing anything, because this club will let you down.
Do you not feel slightly aggrieved by? Obviously, you said since March you were believing that Bruno Fernandes was the key target, and United have failed to acquire him. We were showing so much interest in the player, and it just seems that United have not been able to get anything over the line in terms of a midfield. Do you feel slightly disillusioned now?
Well, it's not just Fernandes. I mean, he's the obvious one, but Sean Longstaff was clearly a player that we wanted as well. And for whatever reason, United just don't have the pull. And some people say, well, some deals aren't possible. Every deal's possible. Everyone's got a price. And what happens a lot is a player will push for the move. People don't want to push the move for us. Harry Maguire didn't push for the move. He just sat back and waited for United to pay the fee. Wan-Bissaka didn't push for the move. We had to pay the fee. Yeah. Some players will say, I'm going, I want to transfer. We might see that in the next few weeks with Paul Pogba. I hope we don't, because if Pogba goes, what is that midfield? It's not great anyway. So, but yeah, I am aggrieved that we haven't added to the midfield. I think, Fellaini left in January. Whatever you say about Fellaini, he was part of the first team for 6 years. Herrera left, and to me, Herrera was a fantastic midfielder. So we've let two midfielders go. And the best thing about it is, it's not like in the attack where you've got Gomez, Chong, and Greenwood. The midfield actually hasn't got midfielders coming through. There's a young lad called Garner who's like 18. That's a big ask. Midfielders at 18 don't come in and start playing 30 games. It's very rare. I think Fabregas is one of the only I remember doing that. And people who say, well, we've got McTominay and Pereira coming through. McTominay won Player of the Year before last. McTominay's been around for a while. Herrera's been on loan to Valencia. These are not young players coming through. They've always been there. They've just not been picked. So we've actually let Fellaini and Herrera go. We've not replaced them, and we haven't got anybody in the youth to come through. So I am absolutely disillusioned with the midfield side of things. Because that's where games are won and lost.
Very quickly on Axel Twanzebe, Tom mentioned that he will be staying for this season now. He's not going out on loan. Surely that's a positive.
Well, maybe Twanzebe can play in the midfield, because I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Rojo. I would hope that he is going to be an after 5 o'clock. It got done.
I'm trying to find something, but there is literally it's quite.
Yeah, I think there's a few deals like going on with Arsenal that probably won't get announced before 5 o'clock, but they'll get the paperwork registered just before, and then it'll be announced later. So things can happen after 5 o'clock. But if Twanzebe's staying, you've got Maguire, Lindelof, Twanzebe, Smalling, and Jones. So we've got 5 centre backs, which with our injury records, probably about right. So if Rojo goes and Twanzebe stays, that's okay. What I would say is, I think Twanzebe should have been playing 30 Premier League games this year. He won't play that at United.
Not now. No.
The thing is, now Maguire's here and Lindelof are going to form a partnership. Where is Twanzebe going to get the game time?
I'm dead against all this.
Well, I mean, there is always the possibility that Lindelof could wind up getting sold in the next season or two. I mean, there was the rumors that Barcelona were in for him, and
do we really want to become that club who starts selling players though? Because at the moment we've just lost.
No, you can't become a selling club. A team like Manchester United cannot afford to do that.
No.
Well, and that's exactly it. At the end of the day, we can't afford to be letting people like Lindelof go. I was just saying that there is always that possibility that Lindelof could be, if they believe in Axel Tuanzebe, Lindelof could be the guy that pays the price for it. Because there's no way Maguire's going anywhere. There isn't.
Right, guys.
As Mark was talking about Fred, he's actually been talking to the website, and I think that's a ballsy move. But he said, now I'm more used to the league and I've been working hard. Talk with the manager and the backroom staff, and this season is going to be better than last season. I'm sure it's going to be very successful. Well, if we could all take Fred's positivity, that would be great. But I've got to be honest, I'm struggling to really believe any words that comes from anyone. We just need to go into this now open-minded. And if you don't want to get hurt, just don't expect anything.
Right, so I've just got up the starting 11. So this is what we think is going to happen, guys, because obviously United we've got 19 minutes left. We're not going to sign anyone in that time. Obviously, we're going to be here right through until the end of the transfer window and a little bit after, because you just don't know. Sometimes deals come in later. But this is pretty much what we're looking like for the starting 11 versus Chelsea then. Luke Shaw at left back, Harry Maguire at centre back, obviously De Gea in goal, Lindelof at centre back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, Scott McTominay, I would imagine this season will be his breakout in terms of being first choice CDM. Pogba plays himself. I'm guessing Andreas Pereira, although it'd probably be Fred. Potentially Juan Mata, but I don't think so. Greenwood's going to get a lot of game time, probably played out on the right. Rashford, we know he's going to play through the middle, and Martial will be out on the left. Do we think...
I think that's important. Sorry, Joy. I think that's important for Rashford to know this season where he's playing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because under Mourinho and that, he was always on the left, he was on the right, he's in the middle. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going, and you can still see now how that affected him, because I've seen it through pre-season. He panics when he gets the ball and he doesn't know whether to cross or shoot. Well, I'm not being funny. A player like Marcus Rashford, the way how he's experienced in his career now. I know he's still young, but he's experienced. He knows he needs to be knowing what he's doing, and he doesn't.
Agu Plays says, I'm really mad right now. There's a lot of angry people in the comments. Some people are, as Victor Muller says, only 15 minutes left, guys.
Well,
I guess.
What I'll say, so Drati, that front three that you just pointed out.
Yeah.
I'll say this about that front three. I mean, Mason Greenwood, Martial, and Marcus Rashford. I mean, that's a front three that can really be and dynamic, and all of them can play anywhere across that front line. And that's something where that could be an interesting take to our attack, that really nobody has a set position where they're going to be, which could cause problems for some people. And all of them kind of play a relatively similar style of playing on the shoulder of the last man and having the speed to beat people.
That's all well and good, but I worry about the midfield, because obviously Pogba's got the creativity there. In order to be able to score goals, obviously we need the creativity. And sorry, Jesus Christ has just said, the United stand, can you remod me so I can be a big help? And a few people asking for a recap. So very quickly, and we'll get back into what we were just discussing. Romelu Lukaku has left Manchester United. He is officially a Inter Milan player. I will just get up this quick quote here. So Inter actually posted a video of Romelu just saying, Inter is not for everyone, and that's why I'm here. There you go, as an image of him in front of a poster saying not for everyone. He wasn't for Manchester United, but that's another story for another day. Also, Axel Tuanzebe is staying at Manchester United. There is potential for Rojo to go, but it doesn't look like anything's going to happen now, guys. And there are 12,000 of you watching right now. It would be fantastic if we could get to 529,000 subscribers. Please subscribe. There's also Discord, which you can get involved with. I'm sure we'll take some calls when the transfer window is up to get everyone's reactions. A fair few of you obviously will probably be pretty disappointed with what's going on at the moment, but please do like and subscribe to the channel. Mark Goldbridge will be on in a bit, I would imagine. He will also be giving his live reaction to the transfer window after this stream, so stay tuned. Back to the conversation about creating goals, guys. Do we see the goals coming from midfield other than Pogba? Because McTominay obviously needs to have a very strong season. Andreas Pereira, he's going to have to show something fantastic this season in order to nail down a place. Then you've got Fred, who's clearly lacking in a bit of confidence. Angel Gomez is the one that excites me the most, I got to admit. Yeah. I'd love to see it. So, where are we seeing the goals coming from, guys?
I think it's got. I think it's going to. All the goals are going to come from the front three. I don't see Bob Pogba, but I don't see goals coming from Tomini. I don't think that's what his role will be this season. I think his role will be more of running that midfield and being the engine, and then that if he plays that well, Pogba will excel. But it's a big ifs and buts already. But I don't see Fred. I don't see Pereira. I just don't see them guys scoring goals. And it's sad to see, because I've got in front of me right now, if Pogba gets injured, 11. Right, so obviously you've got De Gea, Shaw, Lindelof, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Deleuze. So they've gone for a back five, 3-2-2-1-2. So then they've gone Fred, McTominay, Gomez, Rashford, Greenwood. Well, Greenwood, you can't put any pressure on. Gomez the same. He excites me. I agree with you, Draughty, but you can't put any pressure on him. And then that comes down to Fred, McTominay, Garma, and Levitt. And you can't expect much goals from them. You're not going to expect that, because I don't think they've got it in them. They just haven't. And midfield, where the goals are going to come from, is Paul Pogba or bust, if you ask me.
I'm literally just going to put together a alternate starting 11 for the guys at home. So if you guys just quickly talk through the team a little bit more, and then I'll get that up for you. So carry on.
Yeah, for sure. Tom, and you bring up a great point that Paul Pogba goes down, and we're kind of screwed in the midfield. Andres Pereira is the only guy I could see being a guy that'll maybe get 5 goals this season.
Yeah, he's got the potential, but is he going to do it? We don't know. This is what I mean. There's, outside of Paul Pogba and McTominay, with the greatest respect to the rest of the guys, it's not known what they're going to give us this year. Nobody knows. You can't honestly sit here and tell me how many goals Fred's going to score, how many goals that Pereira's going to score. You can't, because you don't know.
Be honest with yourself. Can you even say guaranteed that besides Paul Pogba, that who the other 2 midfielders are going to be, guaranteed match in, match out?
Well, I think you can say McTominay's one. So my biggest one is, you've got your 2, but who's the third? Who would be? And I'd like the chat to get involved. Let's know you guys. Who would be your third guy in that midfield alongside Tomini and Pogba? Because right now, arguably, you'd have to say it's Pereira. But there is cases for the other younger guys, but it's going to have to be Fred or Pereira, maybe Gomez if they move in forward. But that's only if Pogba goes down, because Pogba for me has to play behind the two strikers.
I'm going to very quickly just chuck in there one for you guys, as I'm just editing the team. Alexis Sanchez, where does he fit in?
I don't think he does.
Of course he fits in, because he's going to have to. Let's be honest. He's one of 3 known, recognised we have. So obviously you've got Greenwood there, but outside of Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, Sanchez unfortunately is an option. He's not an option right now because he's injured and there's no telling when he's going to come back, and there's no telling what he could possibly do when he comes back. But for me, I think you've got to look at the fact of our main front 3. So much pressure is on them this season, and it's them that are going to have to deliver the goods alongside Pogba, because outside of that five players I mentioned, I don't see where the goals are coming from. Yeah, you've got set pieces, it's beating the first man. Byron Lindelof could chip in, Wan-Bissaka might nick himself and move running forward, but you don't know. That's my thoughts anyway, but I'm sure
I hope you're right. I hope Alexis Sanchez will somehow manage to contribute something this year, because I mean, if I remember correctly, his goal contribution per dollar is almost like dollars per goal contribution, which is absolutely insane. I mean, he's just some breaking news
from Sky Sports News. Arsenal have confirmed the signing of back Kieran Tierney from Celtic. So there's another deal that Arsenal have done, which makes them again stronger than United. In that, not stronger than United, but that argument of they've improved, we have, because they've got other things in as well as that,
Yeah, and Kieran Tierney is somebody that I know that Rance has been talking about for a long time, and I mean, he's somebody that's young, he's quick, he's extremely left-footed. He's basically Ashley Young, but with his left foot instead of his right foot. Still is finding that.
I get what you're doing. No, I do get where you're going with that. Yeah, I think you're right. Sanchez has got a massive season.
So, very quickly on Sanchez, biggest earner at the club. It doesn't look like we're going to get anyone in for Lukaku. Is there anything saying that Sanchez can play through the middle? Because at the moment, we're going to need goals. And it's Rashford. Just imagine if Rashford got injured, right? Are we then saying we're going to rely on Greenwood and Martial? Because at the end of the day, we could lose Pogba or Rashford throughout the season.
See, I would if Rashford goes down, I'd put Martial through the middle, then give Dan James his chance. That's how much I wouldn't want. I don't think Sanchez is going to make a difference. Obviously, he's going to be given a chance, fresh season, fresh start, and all that. But I don't know. I think if Rashford goes down right now, I would start to panic.
Oh yeah, well, and there's people that would argue that you should be starting Martial through the middle, anyways.
I think so.
We saw in the couple of games in the preseason when he did play through the middle that his hold-up play is pretty good, and it's something that we will be needing at certain points. But Alexis Sanchez, this is your time. That if you want to do something, better time than now, because
absolutely
you've got a kid in front of you in Mason Greenwood that ultimately at the end of the day, Mason Greenwood, he should be playing and being a regular contributor, but he's still only 17 years old.
Absolutely.
Sanchez is the senior guy.
Right. Yeah, you can't have too much pressure put on Greenwood. You can't. As good as he's looked in pre-season, you can't use that as a base to look at him as how he's going to go into the season. It's completely different.
Right, guys. So I've just got a alternate 11 up. You guys can't see it yet because obviously it's buffering guys at home. Daniel James on the left, Sanchez through the middle, Lingard at right wing, Pogba, Matic and Fred in the midfield, because you can't get rid of Pogba in any midfield. He has to play. No. Ashley Young at left back, Maguire and Lindelof are always going to be there, I would hope, because Twanzebe maybe. So basically, we know that Maguire and Lindelof...
I think in the Cup you could probably put Twanzebe in there and give either Lindelof or Maguire a day off. I think that's possible.
Yeah, and Delo at right back, because in terms of that team then, obviously you guys can now see because obviously it's caught up now. I don't think there's enough depth in that team to do anything either. I feel like the previous 11 that we had talking about, that's our best 11. So this one here is extremely unimpressive. Even with Daniel James on the left, it just doesn't seem like the type of team that's going to challenge anywhere past 8th.
Not really. I'd say, I agree with you. I think that's the top 8. You know, I don't know. I wish I could say something about Sanchez, but I'm just not convinced enough to say anything about him at all, because what can you say that hasn't been said already?
Well, this is the problem, and I think we're just going to quickly go back over to the digital studio, as I like to call it. So, how far away? 7 minutes until the transfer window closes then, guys. There are 11,600 of you watching right now. Welcome to the Manchester United's biggest fan channel, the United Stand. Do we have to have an applause every single time?
I don't know, I think it's good.
So, yes, I don't know. It's been a mad day. It has been an absolutely crazy day, but a good one. And we've been here with you. We're enjoying all the guys in the live comments. We're going to be live on air for a good half an hour after. Mark's just texted me to say he's fallen over in the shower and has sprained his buttocks, so he will come back on at 5:30. But yes, please like and subscribe, share the video. Obviously, we've tried to get as many of you as we could on Discord.
Breaking news.
Go on. Breaking news then. Go on.
Jonathan Schrager. He's saying, I've been informed that Rojo to Everton is officially off. Marcus will remain at Manchester United.
Oh.
Not really surprising.
Oh, what a disappointing end.
I did say though, Drorty, didn't I? The fact of when Mark was on last, what was that, about 20 to 5? It's too late. Nothing's happening. It sounded worrying. And, you know, if he was going abroad, there's still plenty of chances. But for him to remain in England, it had to be wrapped up now because he's got 5 minutes and it's not going to be done. So I was a little bit worried, but that obviously confirms it. But yes, I can confirm that Marcus Rojo is not leaving Manchester United.
Well, we've got rid of none of the dead wood. None of the dead wood.
No. Nobody wants to buy our dead wood.
So I think the challenge now is we go into the season with what we've got. That's it. We've signed Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James. You take Daniel James out of that as a very inexperienced championship player. Really, all you've done business with this summer is Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and we have not touched the midfield, we have not touched the attack, we've even lost our biggest goal threat, because as much as people don't like Lukaku or what he's been doing, he has been our biggest goal threat. So yeah, I don't know how you guys are feeling about that.
I agree. Losing Lukaku is, let's not be like blinded by the hate towards him. Losing Lukaku is going to hurt Manchester United because, like we just said, it's another goal scoring option that's gone, that's not there anymore. And we haven't replaced him, and we're not going to replace him at least until January now. Do we replace him in January? Going on this transfer window? Probably not. We won't get it done in time. But, you know, outside of Lukaku, we haven't sold anybody that really should have been sold. And now I'm starting to think, are the words that was being said that Ollie is happy with this team actually true? And it's starting to look like it is.
Here's the thing, though. There you go on the screen right there. We've got breaking news. Marcus Rojo, Everton deal is off, so Marcus Rojo will be staying. It looks like there will be no one else leaving Manchester United. For all the talk of all the deadwood leaving, do you not kind of feel then, guys, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been given a rough hand? He's not really been given... Yeah. He's basically been said, look, you've got 2 defenders, that's going to sort you out for the rest of the season. The midfield has not changed. And for all his talk of basically getting out the dead wood, some people not being here next season, do you not think that it's damage limitation for him and actually he's trying to cover up for the fact that the board just haven't done what they said they were going to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way.
Sorry, go on.
Just going to be quick about this too. There's no way that Ollie is going to publicly come out and say, you know, he's not going to do the Mourinho thing and bitch and moan that he didn't get the signings that he was wanting to get. That's just not who Ollie is. Ollie's going to try and build the confidence in the players that he's got, because there's no point in not doing that. If you don't build the confidence in the players that you've got, then what was the point of even firing Mourinho in the first place?
Yeah,
Do you know,
I
that's a
agree.
brilliant point. What was the point in firing Jose Mourinho for literally back to square one? Because for all of Mourinho's rhetoric last season of, oh, I've not been backed, all his frustrations and Pogba's a virus and all this kind of talk, at the end of the day, Ollie's gone down the complete opposite route of utter positivity, and yet it is still the same result, which is astonishing. So we go into another season with a midfield that hasn't been fixed, a team. I am literally hoping this season Ollie is going to play the youth. He's going to play James Garner. He's going to play Angel Gomez. He's going to play Mason Greenwood consistently. Hopefully Twanzebe gets rotated in and out, possibly with Lindelof, because it's not going to be Maguire because of his price tag. I'm hoping that Delo is going to get maybe a few chances on the right wing if he's not going to be at right back because of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Daniel James is going to have to be...
I don't think you need to hope. I don't think you need to hope, mate. Honestly, I think it is going to happen.
Do you reckon? Do you genuinely reckon that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is?
I think we're gonna see a lot of the kids this year, a hell of a lot. Hey, Goldbridge, how you going, mate?
That was instantaneous. I thought I'd just pop in for the last 60 seconds to share everybody's pain of this transfer window. I know it's going to carry on till 5:30, and I'll be doing my my rant then. But I thought I'll pop in last 60 seconds. I take it we've not done a triple last minute Bruno. Partey and Lozano, treble bill.
Nothing. Rojo's not leaving. I don't know if you've known that. Rojo's staying now. That deal's off.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's like history repeating itself. Exactly the same happened last year.
Do you feel the same I do, though, Mark? Do you know that? You know the interview that everybody references with Bully saying, "Oh, the Deadwood gets to go out. We'll get players in. United want to stay. United are attracting players." To me now, that interview means absolutely nothing.
No, I mean, it's one of the things I was going to mention in my reaction about how, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made himself unfairly, I think, look an idiot. After the Everton game, he said some of these players won't be here. They're all still here. And in May, he also said you'll be surprised at the quality of player that wants to come here. What? Surprised that they don't want to come here? Because there's nobody's come that's surprised anybody, has they? So
no.
It's... I don't know.
That's it, guys. The window has closed. That is it. The transfer window has closed. It has elapsed. It is 5 p.m. GMT time. That's it, Mark Goldbridge. That's it. Man United business is done for the summer. Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Daniel James. That is it.
But do you breathe a sigh of relief that, thank God, it's so anger? Because for me, it's anger. The fact of it's not been good enough. I mean, it has, because we've built the foundations in the defence, but it's not been good enough because there is still problems that need to be sorted.
You know what? You're right. It's like I'm absolutely ecstatic it's over, because I think it was killing us all. So at least there's some finality there, but it's not acceptable. It's far from acceptable. It's absolutely shambolic. I mean, I just hope people don't try and sweep it under the carpet. It's a shambolic transfer window, and the club should be embarrassed and should be ashamed, but they won't be, because it's all about putting money into their pocket, and they'll put the right things out. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference tomorrow is going to be his worst press conference, not because we don't like him, but because he will come out and speak and talk the talk for these owners, because that's what he has to do. The truth is, he should come out and say it's a disgrace, but he can't do that. He shouldn't do that, but he won't do that. But the truth is that it's been a shambles.
Absolutely.
So in terms of, obviously, we now know the window's closed. We're obviously waiting to hear if anything's gone through, but we know that Manchester United have clearly not done any business whatsoever. We go into the midfield the new season with the same midfield. Mark, I know you're going to have your reaction after, but just a few words on how you're feeling about the midfield going into the new season.
I think it's a Paul Pogba injury away from a shambles. I think it's a shambles already. I think people have turned Scott McTominay into something that he's not, because he does good interviews and he's a good representative of the club and he works hard. He actually hasn't played well for us consistently, and we suddenly need him to be our new Ander Herrera, which is a big ask. Fred needs to go from being a flop and a Brazilian Tom Cleverley into a very good player, and Pereira needs to step up to the plate as well, because Matic isn't going to step up to the plate. He's done. Matic is finished. So that midfield is terrifying because you will get injuries. And what if we get 2 bad injuries? What if McTominay does his hamstring and Pogba does his knee? Like, what's our midfield for the rest of the season? It's just, and Matt is still there, and Lingard's there. You know,
Mark, why are you going to scare me
just
like
not
that?
good enough.
I've got the fact. I've got it here that Everton have just signed Alex Iwobi in the region of 35 to 40 million.
So what's their net spend, Tom?
Jesus,
Everton.
it's almost nearly double United's, is it not?
Well, it was the same last year as well.
That is ridiculous.
Honestly, have Spurs managed to do any deals? Do we know?
The Salso and
Sessegnon.
Sessegnon. Or is it not the Salso?
I don't know about Lo Celso. Sessegnon's been done.
Oh,
yeah.
We've just hit 529,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, everyone. 12,200 of you watching right now. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. You can subscribe on the bottom right of the video. Click the little button. Also hit the alarm bell. That will give you any notifications when we go live. Obviously, Mark will be going live after this, but he's going to be with us for a little while, just discussing things. Very quickly on the defence, though, Mark. Are you not very happy with Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka? They are very, very good deals.
Yeah, I've said this before, haven't I? It's a bit like, going out with a nice pair of trousers and not putting the top on.
Oh, here we go.
But it is, isn't it? I'm very happy with that pair of trousers, and the shoes are David De Gea. So the shoes are Gucci, the trousers are Armani, but we're going out with a bareback. Like it's the quality. There's an imbalance to the team, and we spoke about this a week ago, and I said, to be honest with you, if I had the choice, I would have sacrificed Wan-Bissaka or Harry Maguire to bring a midfielder in. I love both those signings, and we've sorted our defence out. But where's the balance? The midfield has been left exposed. So I would like to have seen a midfielder come in. But I'm very happy with those 2 signings. Just makes it even. Tell you what, actually, it makes it even more infuriating that we've sorted our defence out and then we've left our midfield so exposed.
It's been neglected, hasn't it? It's been neglected.
Yeah.
I think. I'm happy with the defence. I'm more than happy with Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka and De Gea. I think comparable to anyone else, it's a lot better than what we had last season. But in terms of what they've then got in front of them and how they move the attack from the back to the front, it's all down to Pogba again. And I feel Pogba's been sold a dream that he just never going to see realised at Manchester United.
Yeah,
of course he has. He's been sold a second-hand
Pogba's
card.
got every right to
been
go.
promised that it's great, and it's not.
Yeah, Pogba's got, as you say, Pogba's got every right to be annoyed now. So
I don't think that anybody would blame Pogba for handing in a transfer request.
I wouldn't blame him, but I wouldn't want it. Because if Pogba goes, we're screwed. Let's be honest.
But I don't think anybody would blame him because, like Drawdy said, it sounds like he was probably sold a bag of goods, and that bag of goods wound up being a bag of shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's something here now. Everybody, right? I know Mark will probably have a meltdown when I say this, but a lot of people are still banging on about January now. The window finished 6 minutes ago. You're talking about January. The talking for transfers between now and January, I do not want to hear it because it's an absolute load of crap. Because January isn't a transfer window for Manchester United because they're not going to sign anybody then. I don't think, unless Pogba did go in January, I can't see him signing anybody because why haven't they done it in the last few days?
They're idiots. People who are falling into the January trap are idiots. Go and do your research. Like, the season's half over in January. Nobody lets their big players go in January. When
was the last time we signed somebody in January?
Well, we haven't done anything in the last 2. We've sold players, but we haven't brought players in. But January's too late. January's just, some people will believe this. It happened last year after the Mourinho one as well. Oh, we'll go and get someone in January. Well, even if we do, it's too late. They've failed. They've let the fans down. They don't really give a shit about doing that, and it's just a hard place to be tonight as a United fan because trying to grab onto any sense of positivity is self-created positivity. At the end of the day, it's all hope. The club haven't given us anything to hold on to. They haven't given that football club, like Manchester City. Everyone hates the oil money, but they want to win titles every year. Every year they want to win titles. Manchester United don't want to win titles. That's your sentence to take away. They do not want to win titles. That club doesn't want to win titles.
I'm going to put in a bit.
Right.
look, at the end of the day, 80 million on Harry Maguire is no small fee, and Harry Maguire is a top centre-back, so that is a positive signing. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a top right-back. That is a great signing. So there is positivity there in terms of building from the back. It's just the level of rebuild is more than...
But
I'm
why
not
does
going
it
to
have
be
to
the
be so
sport
slow?
child. I'm not going to be the sport child that says, I want more. But I'm happy with what we've done, but it could have been better. I think that's the only words you can use. Manchester summer transfer, good, but could have been better. That's the only thing you can say.
Mark?
Well,
yeah, it's like, you're totally right, but this, there's comparisons there to Man City, isn't it? Why do Manchester United have to build the defence this summer, then build the midfield, then next summer we're going to build the attack? It's like, it's just so wrong, because football moves so fast. You can't do one thing one summer, the other thing the next summer, because next summer Lindelof might leave, and then you've got to build your defence again. This is the whole point about having a balanced transfer window. You do it in a balanced way. And United, I genuinely despair at what we've done with that transfer window, and I can't believe it. I'm absolutely stunned that they haven't strengthened the midfield. And I'm also very, very pissed off that our next spend is again about 75 million quid. It's just not sufficient for a club of Manchester United's status and history. We should be looking to win titles every year.
Exactly. You imagine if United had sold Rojo and then Zaha would have got his move, and then the salon was there. Potentially United, could have potentially spent nothing this summer.
Yeah.
That is scary.
That is
Mark,
scary.
I actually have a quick question for you. So you look at what's going on right now. You look at the fact that we didn't bring in any midfielders whatsoever, and it's looking like the possibility for top four is going to be hard, to say the least. Do you think that the fans are more likely to turn on Ollie, or do you think that they're going to turn on the Glazers and Ed Woodward?
Oh, the Glazers. The Glazer hate's going to ramp up now, and Edward and Woodward. It's going to ramp up, and it's quite right at the end of the day, I think.
Do you know what? Very quickly, I'm just going to run through some super chats again. What's going on in the background there, Mark? There's a lot of noise.
I'm going to pop off and give the last 20 minutes to you lot, actually, because I am in central London, so there is a lot going on. And I will do my transfer reaction at 5:30. But I'll see everybody there at 5:30.
Okay.
The stream's up, actually, already.
Right.
Have a great one, mate.
Speak to you later.
Cheers, lads. Top work.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers,
Right.
mate.
So, super chats then. Let's get back into it. Alexi Nicola, thank you very much for the contribution. Love the channel. Lovely seeing Rom sold on deadline day, even though we could sell him over the next 3 weeks. Do you know what? That's a good point. It didn't have to be done today. It did not have to be done today. So then the question I'm going to pose to you two in a minute is, if it didn't need to be done today, is that because United were expecting to get someone in and they wanted the money?
That's the feeling that I had when I woke up this morning.
It's an unusual one,
when I
isn't it?
seen last night, when it really did escalate very quickly, I thought, hang on a minute, they've got something planned here. Something's happening. And obviously we now know that that's completely wrong. But that gave me a sense of false hope. That's how I felt with that.
To do a deal that you know doesn't have to be done on deadline day is interesting. So that's all I'm going to say on that one. Anyway, Genwil Balandres says, is this current team more worse than the 2013 team? With depth lacking all over the squad. I'm hoping youth can step up when needed. MUFC RIP. Clearly he's not very happy with what's happened this summer. Alfresco Blinds Company says, I would go for Icardi right now. That was at 4:30. Very ambitious to get that deal done in half an hour, but I love the positivity. Matt of Darlow says, 2-0 win against Chelsea. Luis gone, Rudiger injured. To be honest with you, at the moment, we probably are looking stronger against Chelsea, so you might be right there. Jordan Berge says, who starts in the midfield with Pogba and McSauce? I think we all probably agree it's either Pereira or Fred. Theshan Kiston again.
I could see Mata playing at the 10 because we've been playing a 4-2-3-1 most frequently this preseason.
Do you know what? Mata was the most effective at Chelsea when he was playing in the 10 position. He was phenomenal when he was 22.
Will he get a chance? I don't think he.
I think he was player of the season for Chelsea, wasn't he, back then? So
yeah, that's in his best years then,
yeah,
wasn't it?
He was very, very good at number 10. Thesson Kiston says, Mark, our Portugal ship has hit the iceberg. No, Bruno, 3 months of hope that were never there. Okay, well, Mark's going to sink with that ship. We know that's going to happen. Toby Bunsell X says, do you think Everton will get Rojo over the line? Well, no. Brian Murphy, Ollie is a bloody yes man. Glazer's puppet. W Skeezer says, how about showing a 4-2-3-1 with Sanchez at 10? Interesting. That is an interesting one. We can look at that in a bit. Jordan Such says, will Mark Goldbridge be on later? Yes, guys. Mark will be on after this stream. I'm guessing around about 5:30. You're not going to want to miss it. He's been prepped, he's been riled, he's ready to go. He's on the old sauce, hopefully. So you guys can get in there straight after. And by the way, guys, you've been brilliant today. Everyone in the live comments, you've stuck with us pretty much through since half one. Over 10,000 constantly since half one for, well, not Mark Goldbridge, which is unheard of for this channel. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sticking around, guys.
Yeah, and please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Michael Mayer Star says, will Ollie start McTominay ahead of Matic? We hope so. We bloody hope so. Justin Monday says, James off the beach will be special. Oh, sorry, the beach? It's almost like, I don't have dyslexia, but my eyes are going. Sorry. James off the bench will be special this year. He was giving 100% during preseason. He seems excited about the badge on his chest. I've got to say, Daniel James is going to give everything for this team, which I think is probably the most important thing we could have right now. Robert Bagat, you're effing delusional if you guys think those front threes will even score 30 goals combined. I can't believe we were tainted what Sir Alex Ferguson built to this degree. Strong words there. Robert Bagat, Aidan Gyro, fans must get behind our team, create an atmosphere. Absolutely, nothing wrong with getting behind the team, no matter who's on the pitch. Stephanie Gianola says, thank you for your engagement. You're very welcome. We try and involve everyone. As we say, sometimes super chats get missed, but we will always read them out at the end.
Oh my God.
Connor Calder says, United we stand, change now, enough is enough. Tom will get to you in a second. Missouri _gaming says, the worrying thing, De Gea not announced yet. And yeah, new contract hasn't been announced yet. Yeah, that is interesting. Capitano, well, you never know, they might announce it tonight.
It's got to be something to soften the blow, hasn't it? They're going to try everything they can.
Capitano 007, I think the owners will sell the club. Do you know what? That's probably, and that is the last super chat at the moment, so that's probably the most positive one we could have ended on.
Yeah.
Tom, you said, "Oh my God," was there? Something happening?
I was just obviously you got the pre-transfer, you got the post-transfer window Twitter now. It's great. So KFC have just won the transfer window for me. Yeah, you know the bloke, is his name Indy Kyler? They've put right at Indy Kyler. You've had your fun. Now get back on the Friars #deadline day, which is the account that keeps keeping on about transfers. So I thought that was quite.
So right, do you know what? We always know when things are too good. So and you know when you need to get off air. We've been on air since half one. It's 15 minutes past the transfer window. Lukaku has officially left Manchester United for Inter Milan. Rojo is not leaving the club, and Manchester United have signed no one else. United's transfer window comprises of
away from the deal. That's what the breaking is.
So that's it, guys. That is it. That is the transfer window for 2019 summer over. I want to say a massive thank you to Tom and to Andrew for being on air with me, and to Sander, who's no longer here. Not like he's died or anything.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been brilliant having you on.
But the best, it's been a great day, isn't it?
No, it's been great, and it's been great having you on, Tom.
In terms of transfers, it hasn't been great, but the whole experience has been fantastic. Thanks for having me on, and well done on being that number one channel.
Thank you very much. I'm sure Mark will say something like it later. I don't think he's quite got his head around it yet, but there we are. So if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Many of you obviously tuning out now, which is fair enough. Mark will be back on in about 10 minutes for his, well, he says he's going to rant, so we'll see. He might be a little bit more tame. Andrew, thank you for joining us, mate.
Thank you for having me on, Droddy. I'd love to say it was a great time, but I mean, it was just fun talking to you guys. That was the only fun part about it, because it was ultimately a letdown, everything that went down.
Very, very quickly, Mark Hill's just come in with a super chat. Do the Glazers not understand business, being businessmen? If they invest in the team wins more trophies and they will get more profit in the long run. Mike, I don't think they care. I don't think they care. So,
and look at it. They've owned an NFL team, because I watch it.
Yeah.
Owned an NFL team. They've let that go to the dogs multiple times. So let's not act like we're surprised here.
Right. So, for many of you who don't know me, I basically do all the visuals behind the channel. I am, unfortunately, what they call the Draughty Devil. Stupid name. I came up with it when I was in the gym when I was talking to Mark about something. But there you go. I don't generally do this, so I'm not really a presenter, but I said I'd hold the fort for today and the old watch along. So you probably won't see me.
You've done a great job, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, I to be fair, I did a bit of producing at uni and a bit of I was trained in animation, so that's basically where I come from. And I used to be in a few metal bands, so I'm used to being on stage. But other than that,
we really should give Roddy a round of applause here, because he did a great job.
Yeah.
It's just
well done, mate.
Thanks. I'm like Mark. I hate applause, but that's fine. I don't like praise. I'm kind of like one of those guys who's like, don't
criticize me.
Don't criticize me. I'm better with that. But honestly, everyone in the live comments, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a mental day. Listen, the guys are going to be in London tonight. Flex, Mark, Rants, a few other people. Sanders already making his way there. Apparently there's a few special guests. It's going to be a top night for everyone. Mark will be on in a minute. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching the United Stand. This has been the Transfer Deadline Day live.